another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. I'm alone right now by myself again. I guess nobody wants to join me on the show, but oh well. A lot of people don't like to talk about politics, and I can understand that. It's tough when you're fighting for your rights, and the rights of the people that live with you or around you or in your state or in your country, right? But to me, it's important that people stay, abreast on what's going on. What is going on? Most of us don't have a clue what really is going on behind the scenes. But, all we can do is share information that we do get with as many people as we can. I'm a kid out of 5 kids, a family of 5. And honestly, I'm the only one out of the 5 that's really that interested in knowing what's going on. And when they hear about this, that, or the other happening, they're like, shocked by it. I don't know. I just understand. I don't understand why more people aren't interested in knowing why gas is so expensive or why people are missing or, why your schools are letting stupid stuff happen all the time, things like that. but I like to try to stay informed as much as I possibly can. But like I try to do on some of the shows that I have, is I try to start off with something fun, and funny. So I'm going to start off with this a funny prank phone call that I think is a good laugh before we start getting into what's really going on in the world around us. But this guy came across my timeline, and I really thought he was funny. He made me laugh, and I'm gonna play it for you. Everyone I know has gotten phone calls from mistakes. People have called your house a mistake, or people calling to try to sell you crap, or even trying to scam you, right? So I thought this was a good one to play. And hey, Bruce, hey, how are you?
I'm not dead.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad you're alive. Did you get to eat anything?
I had some food. I had some sausage.
Okay, well, that's good. I just got started, and I was going to play something funny, to, lighten it a little bit before we get going. And this guy was hilarious.
Do you still want to do the videos, the video that I showed you? Or
Which
do you
one?
want the reaction? No, the round 2 for Buffalo Public Schools.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it yet, have I?
No, it was going to be a reaction video of how you took, because you watched the first one with me, right?
Yeah.
The first time you went out there and said there's 3 separate incidences where Buffalo Public Schools dropped the ball.
Uh-huh.
And one was a
Okay,
kidnapping.
well, after I play this thing, you can bring it up and we'll watch it. Okay. Have
right.
you seen this guy?
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, he is doing a reverse thing. It's a prank, but he's doing it on someone that called his phone. So he just goes along with it, and it's hilarious how he explains what happens. And it really makes you think about, wow, maybe I should try something like that. So you never know. Make the best of a bad phone call or whatever. So I'm going to start it for everybody. Hopefully it's turned up. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Enjoy.
Phone rings and you don't recognize the number. What do you do? Ignore it. Don't answer it. Not me. I like life. The other day, my cell phone rang 917. That's a New York number. I didn't know who it was. I picked it up anyway. I hit talk. I said, hello. Guy in the line goes, hey, Bruce, what's going on? My name's Jay, not Bruce. So I said, nothing much, man. What's going on with you? And he said, I'll tell you what's going on. I just got an email about the budget. It's supposed to be $15,000. Now it's $10,000. And I'd like to know what's up. I got excited in my chest. I grabbed the steering wheel. I was like, okay, focus. Your name is Bruce. There's a budget. It was $15,000. Now it's $10,000. No one's happy about it. That's all we know. That's all we know. So I just repeated back to him what he said to me. And I go, 10,000 is supposed to be 15,000. He goes, yeah, I know. Well, I just got an email and now it's 10. I go, listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. I've been on the road all day. I haven't even seen it. And he goes, did you send this out? I give him some attitude to Bruce. I didn't like it. I said, listen, man, the budget was $15,000. We had a couple extra expenditures. It went up to $16,200. I reworked it, got it down to $14,700. I had $300 to play with, so I called it 15 and I sent it out. And he goes, yeah, well, now it's 10, man. And I was like, oh my God, that worked. That worked. Phase 1 complete. Phase 1 complete. Like now I'm in the door. I have a 401k. I was at the Christmas party, okay? So he goes, did Larry okay this? I go, listen, man, I took the budget to Larry. Larry said it looked fine, but I knew it was my ass on the line, so I ran it by Jennifer, just in case, just to double check. Jennifer said it looked good. I sent it out. He goes, yeah, well, now it's 10, man. And I realized this guy has no idea what's going on over there. He hasn't talked to Larry. I know he hasn't talked to Bruce. He doesn't even recognize my voice. I know he didn't talk to Jennifer. I just made her up. So he goes, listen, man, what are we going to do about this? And I go, listen, I'm on the road right now. I haven't even seen the email. Why don't you give Larry a call, check in with him, see what he says, call me back. Just praying he will, because that return phone call was going to be amazing. And he goes, you know what? Why don't wait till you get home, you check the email, you call Larry, you call me back. And I go, nah, bro. Larry knows way more about this than I do. Give him a call, call me back. He goes, okay, hangs up the phone. To which I explode with euphoria. Because there's a small business in New York that is crumbling to the ground over $5,000, and nobody can find Jennifer. They're looking. I get home, I'm so excited, I take out my cell phone, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna save that guy's number, give him a call in a couple days, touch base, you know what I mean, check in. See where we're at, you know? So I save it in my phone under random guy. That's what he is, he's a random guy. 4 or 5 days pass, I forget about it. Laying on my couch, watching the ball game, phone rings on the dining room table. I get up, watching the game, grab the phone, watching the game, look down, random guy. But it's been a couple days, you know what I mean? So I'm like, random guy? Who's random guy? Like, who would even have random guy as their name that comes up? And then I was like, random guy. Like, now I'm panicked, you know what I mean? People's lives have been affected. It's only $5,000, but I don't know how big that company is. But I'm addicted to it. You know what I mean? I started this thing. I need to see it through. So I put my earbuds in, just get a little distance, you know, just get a little space. And I hit talk. Same guy goes, hey, Larry, what's going on? Yeah, now he's calling me Larry. He knows something's up, but I'm not about to back down. I go, nothing much, man. What's going on with you? And he goes, well, I got us on conference call with Janelle and Marie. And I was like, okay, here we go. This is why we play the game, you guys. This is why we play the game. So I go, welcome to the call, ladies, as if to say, welcome to the show. You know what I mean? Here we go. Marie takes the lead. She goes, hey, Larry, what time is it where you are? I live in LA. They're in New York. It's 5:30. So I go, 8:30. It's 8:30. She goes, really, what's the weather like? And I was like, oh, weather's nice. She goes, you know, this doesn't sound like Larry. And I go, oh, yeah? Who's it sound like? And a random guy chirps him from the back, and he goes, sounds like Bruce! Sounds like Bruce! Like he's going to blow this case wide open. And I go, listen, guys, this isn't Larry, and it isn't Bruce. And Marie goes, who is this? I said, I'm just some guy who had nothing better to do than to mess with you guys. And Marie got pissed. She was not happy. She goes, you understand we're trying to run a business over here? And I was like, yeah, well, I got that from the budget. I just figured it was a business thing. And she goes, what do you think? This is some kind of joke? And I was like, oh, a little bit. Thought it's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. And she goes, let me ask you something. And I go, no, you let me ask you something. And she goes, what? And I go, where we at with the budget?
I just thought it was so funny. You had never heard of him before?
Never. First time.
I just thought it was funny because I have heard many people that have gotten prank phone calls and, you know, they get on, you know what I mean? But never that elaborate. So I thought it was funny. I thought it would be a good icebreaker. But what's the video you want to play?
Well, I got 2 videos, but one of them is 15 minutes and the other is like an hour and a half.
Well, we can't do the hour and a half one.
Oh, never mind. We'll never know what happened at Buffalo Public Schools then.
We'll have to do it live, like before the show tomorrow, before the game. Because I got a whole bunch of stuff to bring up for tonight. So I even wore this shirt so I could do some of the stuff. You see my shirt?
I see it. You look cute.
Thanks. I'm starting to sweat now. I was cold earlier.
It's not a big fluffy hoodie, but it'll do.
Well, okay. Well, it's too hot for that. I just put this jacket on because I was a little bit cold because I got a little bit of a sunburn.
Where are you at? It's too
I was at
hot.
the gym. You know,
right now it's like 66 degrees here.
I don't know what the temperature is right now here. but it was cold this morning. It's like it's just weird. One day it's warm, one day it's cold. One day it's cold, one day it's warm. But yeah, it's interesting. So, but so you don't want to do the 15-minute one?
I'm getting it tuned up right now.
Okay, all right. Let's say we do the fun stuff before we get into the. Well, there's some good stuff that we were going to talk about too. That's happened. So, but
Habitual line crosser. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. I'll bring it up. Here we go. Which one? The one that just says Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
Here we go. Ah. Hold on. I janited that. My bad. There we go.
Shoots, brother. The water getting deep over here.
Oh, would you look at that? We found another one that HLC can't fucking do. Also, why am I so pale?
First of all, I rarely have to mention Hawaii because nothing bad ever really happens there. Second of all, I had to wipe my entire computer and reload everything. It was my own fault.
Wait. So you're telling me there's not hot singles near me? You know, it seems like anywhere I go to, they always say they're near me. Never find them.
Well, there's one you always find.
This is like the best gift you've ever given me. Oh, God, it's the alley-oop, and I get to dunk it in. It's Russia's mom!
You know, I think I speak for many of us here when I say that people are probably getting tired of the jokes about my mom.
I think I speak for everybody when I say that is an incorrect fucking statement. Survey says you're wrong. I can still dunk.
If you ever watch this guy on a regular, this is going to be one of the most consistent jokes referenced every episode. The B-52 goes over to Russia's mom's house and he treats her like a lady.
On you, even though I look like the fucking ghost of freedom past. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's a color correction issue. I'll screw with it later.
Also, Janet, if you ever have a problem where you have to wipe your hard drive, what he's talking about right now with all of his assets being AFU, everything, whenever he's trying to present it on screen, colors off, sound is fouled up. Just remember, this is normal until you get it fine-tuned.
Why, I don't know what to tell you. At least when you were on fire, I could be like, hey, I can help put out the fire. Do you want me to light things on fire and try and dissipate the water? I don't know how to do this. I know your Hawaii accent ain't that great, brother, but we got a lot of water here.
Yeah, you're surrounded by it. Fuck, I thought you Polynesians figured that shit out, man. Just build a canoe or something.
Anyways, back to the big story. Iran. Look, I sent over my demands, and if you meet those, we can stop destroying all your shit. I don't know what you're talking about, America. We are winning.
Man, HLC, I'm fucking proud of you. You went deep in the lore. That's exactly how somebody who English is not their first language would respond.
No, it's wild, Buff. They genuinely think they are. It's fucking nuts. By what metric? All your bases in the area are destroyed and uninhabitable, as the New York Times has posted about. That is your media. Yeah, I get it. My fucking freedom of information and my freedom of media is really a crutch in this information war that we're fighting right now because, well, let's just put it in perspective. The 31st of March, you should post about it on Twitter. I plan on it, is the like 20-something year, 25-year anniversary of when Gerardo Rivera literally drew out American battle plans on the ground and then was promptly kicked out of country by the United States Army. That's a real...
Do you remember this?
No.
Do you remember? You don't remember when Geraldo Rivera got kicked out of Kuwait because he starts drawing maps in the sand on camera?
No.
We have this over here. We have that over here. We have this over here. So on the 31st of March, the entire unsubscribed extended family will be on X, making sure, and other platforms, making sure the America and Western civilization knows Geraldo Rivera can't be trusted with shit. He's a piece of shit journalist. He's never going to change.
Well,
People don't forget.
The only thing I remember about him is that he did the empty
The
case
vault.
Yeah,
The vault of
somebody's body. Some
Al
famous
Capone's vault.
Al Capone. Yeah, that's the only thing I remember him doing on TV.
That was such a fucking tease. It was advertised. They talked about it on talk shows. The cameras were ready. The commercials looked good. And Geraldo Rivera went in there, and it was literally like the most blue balls shit I've ever seen on national TV before I was 20. That was all it was. It was just this is how you have blue balls, because we keep building up to nothing.
Yeah, they were digging in a hole or something.
Yep.
I just remember it being on the news. Everybody was making a big deal out of it.
No, they had like an hour-long special, and the advertising budget was crazy. The commercials for it were really high dollar, and then just nothing happened for an hour. They kept going further into this vault, and Al Capone had the last laugh because nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
I don't remember how he even found the cave. So.
All right.
Sorry.
I'll finish. Well, we got another 12 minutes.
Okay.
Ah! Nope, wrong. Computer. Here we go.
Useless big nose fuck. Anyways, look, you've lost hundreds of people, multiple ayatollahs. You've lost all of your air capacity. You've lost all of your navy. There's like 120 ships on the bottom of the strait right now, or various locations in the ocean, Red Sea, etc. You've lost all your air defense capability. You're not fighting back. Your missiles and drone launches have reduced by over 90% at this point. Just agree to the terms, man. Your terms are unreasonable. I had to practice that several times to get it out. They're unreasonable. You're never pursuing a nuclear weapon, but everybody else is allowed to have them, including the Jews? Hey, I was not part of this conversation. Yes, you were. You're part of the entire operation, you yarmulke-wearing genocidal Zionist. And America, we are still fighting back. We shot one of your F-18s. Shot down and shot at ain't the same fucking thing there, Shmayatollah. Probably could have came up with a better joke or something in there. But anyways, I gave him the old bamboozle and I sent him to their fucking god. Can I get a hell yeah? Oh, okay, sorry. Hell yeah.
Ah, shit, kid, what's wrong with you? You seem upset.
It's because I never got to be a part of it. This is the second major conflict, and I don't get to do shit. I got war cucked in Venezuela. At least I was here for this one. But other planes couldn't get off the ground because they suck. And I get nothing. I don't get to do shit.
Ah, kid, everyone's job is important. Think about it, like cooks in the military. People don't think of that job very often, but you really have to feed people. So, I mean, they're as much a part of the war effort as everybody else.
But I wasn't designed to be a cook. I was designed to be a weapon of war.
Well, I tried. You shit all over my analogy. I guess maybe get a foam finger and stand on the side and say Grandpa Buff is number one, because I'm stacking them fuckers up.
Will you two stop? Anyways, Iran, I don't think that any of my requests are unreasonable, okay? I mean, really, just don't have nuclear weapons, turn the country back over to their people. I mean, my goal is to stabilize the region, stabilize shipping, and everyone's happy. And what about the one that said you need to have a room reserved, a penthouse at all times, so that a plane can share it with Russia's mom whenever he needs? Buff! I'm trying to pursue peace here.
And you think I'm not? Shit, give me what I want or I get to keep killing people. Oh, shit, that's like two of the best things in the world. We have all the talking power right now. Be like, give me all your oil or we're going to just keep blasting the turbines off of you fuckers.
You know, I hate to say it, but the war machine actually has a point. I mean, I really can ask for whatever I want, and either that or I have to keep hemorrhaging money, destroying everything you have. This is getting out of line. My fucking mother?
Yes, she's a nice lady and deserves to be treated right. And I hear Tehran is not. No, actually, I didn't hear it's nice this time of year. I hear it's nice. Fuck, it's really never nice. Look, I've been in the Middle East a lot over the last 20 years, and to this day, I have no idea who the fuck was cruising across the desert and their camel was like, yeah, this is nice. I want to stay here. Fucking weirdos, man. But anyways, Iran bombings will continue until freedom improves.
America! And hold your horses there, United Kingdom, or donkeys, or camels, whatever you are into now. The nation of Germany is going back to the roots. We realized that the rampant refugees, put that in quotations, coming into our country are not really participating in doing good things for Germany. So for the next 100 days, we will be participating in the largest deportations in our country's history.
Before he gets any further, I actually kind of looked into that, and that made me really happy. It made me sad that Italy and Sicily are not involving themselves in something like that, but then Sicily and Italy have been rather hostile to the boat people for the past few years, and I'm still standing behind Italy and Sicily on that. I think it's great that they're making sure the sand
they're getting rid of who?
The sand people? Yes, they're getting rid of the sand people.
Okay, what are they doing with them?
It doesn't matter. You don't have to go home.
Are they sending them back to where they came from? Like
Yes.
we're trying to do with this with the
Yes.
people from the south border?
Yeah, they're trying to get everybody deported back to their country of origin.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are saying, "Oh, I'm a refugee that's war torn." Blah 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 blah. And Germany is finally saying, "It doesn't fucking matter. You can't stay here. All you're doing is raping women in Cologne. That's not acceptable behavior." But our religion, but our cult, but our shitty prophet. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't have to go home. Can't stay here. And they give them the bouncer's excuse of what to do at night. It's wonderful.
Well, it's too bad England isn't doing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Keir Starmer is trying to rim Sadiq Khan's asshole for depth, not for quantity, but he's going for the quality rimming job, and he's ruining the UK. Worse yet, the UK people, if they say that, why are you kissing that sand person's ass? The fucking, here comes the bobbies. Here comes the shitty fucking UK police, and it's just a joke. That's all it is. And the UK used to be a reliable group of people that you could count on. If you ever had an international disagreement with sand people, they'd be there by your side, because the UK almost like beating up brown people as much as we do for oil. But nowadays, they've been taken over by the sand people, and they're not worth a fuck.
Yeah, they're getting lots of women have been abused over there too, and murdered.
Acid thrown on their faces. Just standard
The
desert
mothers
people behavior.
and daughters are being raped in the street, stuff like that. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But this is why you don't invite the third world, because then you become the third world. And I know that sounds really harsh, and somebody's feelings might get hurt. Fuck you. And fuck your couch, and nobody gives a shit about your stupid ideals. We're talking about the survival of the people that grow up next to you and the people that are part of your world that you might not value, but they like Western civilization, even if you don't. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Almost. Here we go. F-22, talk to us about the cuck chair in the hotel.
Yeah, I guess that checks out, because the 1940s wasn't really deportation.
My bad. That is the F-35.
It was more extermination, so that's fair. We will also be closing our borders to any new coming refugees.
He said coming.
Sweet. Getting back to your post 1940s roots. Yeah, no, I'm all for that. That's totally awesome, man. So you want to help me open up the strait or no? Nein. We are not part of that conflict. We must focus on the things here in Germany. Nah, win some, you lose some. Anyways, UK, what are you upset about this time? You're getting ever closer to a military police state. You've deployed, I believe that's the right word for it, immigration and customs enforcement to several of your airports in the United States. So you're replacing people who aren't getting paid by people who are. I believe the people who aren't getting paid fall under some level of indentured servitude or slavery. That's not fair. I don't think ICE is getting paid right now either. That's even worse. What are they going to do? Start arresting people as they're trying to go through security? Hold on. Let me just understand this real quick. So legally, you're required to have photo ID and or passport to get on a commercial flight in the United States and most other countries. But it's racist if I send additional federal officers to help out. That's weird, man. Because of your rash America First policies, your entire tourist, what the fucking word is I'm looking for? Tourist group, entity, income. Fuck, I cannot find it. We're just going to leave this in here. But your entire tourist, whatever, is collapsing. Not everywhere. Yes, Las Vegas, LA, a lot of these places are experiencing a decline in tourism. But you know what the worst one is? I actually just learned this. New York City, 17% decline.
Wait. So you're telling me if you tax the living fuck out of everyone who lives there, like the millionaires and billionaires that happen to own a lot of the buildings there, and provide these services that tourists come and visit, tourists don't want to go there. Oh, wow. I'm sure there's no fucking correlation.
I got it. You have your own personal disagreements with the Mayor Mamdani. However, wanting him to fail is like wanting the most densely populated area in the United States to fail. Why would you want that?
I have a few reasons, but unfortunately all of them are too racist for this video.
Look, homie, that ain't on me entirely. Look, here's the thing. I'm going to take a quote from someone you might be familiar with, Margaret Thatcher, when she said, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of everyone else's money. I'm not a fan of socialism or communism myself, but capitalism isn't perfect either. Jeep's parent company is starting to give people parking tickets in Detroit. Stellantis, I believe is the name of the company. If they don't park there with one of their company's cars instead of buying from somebody else. So if you park a car from one of their competitors there, they'll give you a parking ticket. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, it's their choice, but I got nothing.
Honest.
Okay. Back when I was a young man, we had these union halls in Decatur, Illinois, Janet. And if you had business at the union hall, but you did not have a domestic vehicle, you know what you had to do? You had to find somewhere else to park. If you didn't have an American-made vehicle like a Ford or Chevy or Dodge or something older like Studebaker or Edsel, you had to go find another parking lot and park it. And then you had to go walk 3/4 of a mile because that was the nearest parking lot to any of the union halls. That's how it used to be where I was growing up.
Well, if that happened to me, I just wouldn't go to the union hall.
I mean, I'm just saying that, the landowner gets to choose what the fuck happens on their property. That's kind of weird. And the fact that's an America only mentality, that's killing me. I can't believe that. Okay. You want to discuss anything before we give it back to Buff?
Go ahead.
Honestly, Uncle Sam, I'm going to be totally real with you. That means capitalism's kind of out of control. That's straight DEI right there.
How is it DEI to tell people that they need to park your company's vehicles on their company property?
Oh, okay. I got to expand a little bit. Well, I'm going to explain it as since it's Jeep's parent company, you give your employees two choices. Wow, words are hard. They can either be gay or get a ticket. That's fucking wild, man. Just a bunch of lesbians and gay dudes with a bunch of fucking ducks on their windshield and giving each other some special kind of wave.
Stop it, Buff.
All I'm saying is if, the 1980s AIDS epidemic has taught us anything, also known as Queeroshima.
And we're going to stop you right there. Okay, anyways, Iran, I'm sending some members of the 82nd Airborne over to the Middle East. Sorry, I didn't cover this when I was talking the whole Iran thing, so we're circling back. You think I am afraid of your airborne troopers? No, that would require an intelligent, calculated understanding of the combat capabilities of that organization. You, on the other hand, are far too inbred and or share DNA with goats to potentially understand the gravity of said statement. Did the nerd just dunk on Iran?
Yeah. Oh, man, he went full fucking auto, man. Holy shit. He called him retarded. He called him gay. Called him inbred. Called... Shit, they sleep with goats. Holy shit. That was the best rapid fire I've ever seen.
Charming. And now we're finding out that Cesar Chavez, who was all about civil rights, was possibly a
Oh, shit!
Yeah, bad stuff. I don't think it overshadows like the positive things that he did, but it's still not good. Gosh, man. Yeah, Franklin says never meet your heroes because they'll do things to you that rhyme with grape.
Yeah, even I don't do that. Now, I may be a murderous war machine that's 70 years old, but consent is sexy, baby.
There are good things in the news. Sort of. Good for me, not really good for anybody else. Lock Dog, tell him. So we started noticing how simple concealment has gotten of high yield systems. So we put a Grizzly launcher inside of a 10 by 10 foot storage container. They can fire either Hellfires or JAGMs, Joint Air Ground Missiles. And they have onboard seekers so they can find their own targets. Oh man, it's cool. You guys really should see it. It's awesome. What in the bloody hell for? I mean, I don't know. Yet, war stuff.
Listen, Uncle Sam, I got it. I'm Boeing. I'm not Lockheed Martin, but you have an opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. You got to put a big hand crank on the side and make the world's most violent Jack in the Box.
Oh, that's just horse shit. You see, the federal government gets more and more toys and more missiles, and John Q. Public can't even drive down the highway with some dummy missiles in the back of their pickup truck until they get pulled over by somebody. It's fucking fascism, I tell you that much. Florida, did someone get pulled over down there having missiles in the back of their truck? I plead the 5th and the 19th. The 19th gave women the right to vote, and they've been fucking it up ever since. That's a joke. I have to walk into this. This joke was written a while ago, and it's a very good joke. I hope I don't get canceled for this. America, let me ask you a question. Let's say I follow all of your rules, all your demands, and then you are in control over here, and your favorite little lapdog, Israel, turns against you.
Oh, that's easy. You see, we have a large population of Jewish kryptonite here in the United States. Yeah, we'll just send all the African Americans over there to fight them. They're immune to credit damage.
Buff!
What?
Look at you over the African Americans over there. They're immune to credit damage.
It's one of my favorite fucking zingers.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That's if you want to know what's going on with the world and military, if you actually just watch his videos, you get everything in 15 minutes, and it's distilled down to where you can have punchlines and you still have an idea what the fuck's going on. Unlike CNN or Fox or Ground News.
Well, that was good. So, do you have any other comments you want to say about it? The whole video?
Shadow. I'm going to go through the chat for a second, working backwards. Shadow and Son, There's a guy called Habitual Line Crosser, and all he does is he puts eyes and a mouth on top of shit on the map or pictures of weaponry and aircraft. Habitual Line Crosser. I'll put it in your Discord at some point, but there's a whole backstory to each of the characters that's working into every one of his videos, and it's funny as shit. And I hope you enjoy it. The buff, the B-52 is probably the best character in the whole show. Lloyd Christmas is crying earlier. Hardwick said something about he's worried about. Go ahead.
I think he was just kidding.
Oh. If Trump makes any deal that allows the current Iranian regime to remain in power, the regime will brutally crack down on opposition, even worse than what they did in January. That's a very big possibility, which is why I'd love to see the current regime to be gathering flies before they're set afire. And I like that idea.
I don't see that happening because none of those imams or whatever are going to do that.
Well, I mean, then it's get rid of Islam. I mean, this is where you throw out the bathwater and the baby. Fuck it, have another baby later. There's no reason to keep.
They're just not going to agree with any of this stuff.
Well, that's fine. That's okay.
Unless the prince comes back to rule, then you might have something. But with any of these people that they have picked, it's not gonna. Nothing's gonna change.
Let's just get one thing out of the way. The Middle East is a shithole. Every bit of it is a shithole. There are some people that think they're better than others. There's like a tier list in their mind where I'm an A tier, Syria is a C tier, Tunisia's F tier, whatever the shit. None of those people matter because none of those people have ever contributed anything, and neither of their ancestors. All they ever did was eventually make it to other countries and blow shit up in the middle of a market or discotheque, and that's it. That's all that entire region is good for. Fuck the Middle East. I just let it go. Let's put up a protective wall around it. Let them have an Iron Dome where they can throw rockets and missiles at each other, and we'll just worry about that shit when it clears. The good Jews already left. That's Jesus. The good Jews already left, the ones that follow Jesus. The remaining things that have stayed there are pieces of shit Arabs, Turks, and smelly people that contribute nothing to your life but misery and decay and cause Fox News to sell millions of dollars of advertising every month. And that's it.
Well, that's your point of view, and I understand it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. But the thing is, as long as the people in charge are the same people in charge right now, I don't see them coming to any, hey, let's work this out. It's not going to happen.
I just don't
want to give up. They want to give up, women having no rights, marrying 9-year-old girls. Since you brought that up, I'll just go ahead and play this one thing. So let me open it real quick. Let's see. I was going to save it, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Here we go. It leads right into this. This is something I wanted to share with everybody. So here we go. Make sure it's turned up. This is the kind of stuff that's going on over there. And this is why I don't think that they're going to ever agree to any of it.
My father has sold me because we don't have bread, rice, and flour. He has sold me to an old man. He's bought Parwana for $200,000, just over $2,000 US. Covered up, Parwana whimpers as her mother holds her. This is your bride. Please take care of her, says Parwana's father. Of course I will take care of her, replies the man. His large hands grab her small frame. Parwana tries to pull away. As he carries her only bag of belongings, she again resists, digging her heels into the dirt. But it's futile. The fate of this small, helpless child has been sealed.
Well, pretty sad, isn't it?
I fucking, I would never play anything like that on my channel because I don't want to give time to evil. And that entire religion, like there's parts of the Bible that they don't advocate for evil in the Bible, but they showcase what evil can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have an entire religion called Islam, which is just fucking evil from start to finish because it was born out of envy and hatred between two brothers, one of them being successful and blessed by God, and the other one being a little cunt. And that's Isaac and Ishmael. And ever since then, the shittiness has continued in the Middle East. And instead of them being able to learn from their differences, no, they've just driven themselves apart further.
But see, what's sickening about this whole thing, I want to interrupt for a second, is the fact that we have people right here in the United States that are not Muslims that think that children that young should be able to choose whether or not they want to have a relationship with an adult. So we've got some real messed up people, and we have a battle going on right now to not vote for the SAVE Act and to fight for illegals that are here doing terrible things to other people in our country, which we see over and over and over again in these sanctuary cities, that these people in charge that are fighting to let your tax dollars pay to take these people, keep them, feed them, give them a place to live. They'd rather let them out of jails and put them right back on the streets to hurt everybody than hand them over to ICE. So
how do I
not that much difference between this, from what I can see, and them, the ones fighting to not pass the SAVE Act.
I just don't want child sex slavery to take any more lives in Western civilization. If they want to do that
right now, they do surgeries in some states on young girls now, so they won't enjoy sex, so they won't sleep around when they're given to another person, and stuff like that.
And exactly what religion?
This religion right here that we just looked at.
So why are we not supporting the fuck out of it and saying?
How many mosques does Texas have right now? I wonder.
Too fucking many. I haven't started my job.
Over 300 mosques in Texas, and Texas is supposed to be the reddest state in the country.
No, that's
bad. We're being overrun.
No, my bad. It's Oklahoma.
You have mayors and you have young people that willingly voted for a mayor that thinks this kind of stuff is normal, that you should be doing it. And they pray. They have all these mosques, yet they pray in the streets and play their music over the intercoms out for everyone. But yet, if I was to go out and pray in the street as a Christian and play my music, I'd probably be arrested. And that's in the United States of America. So what do you guys want? I mean, do you want this to be pushed in your face? Yeah, I can see a lot of men. That's why they recruit a lot of Muslim men to join them, become Muslims in prisons, because how fun is that to be able to have all the women you want and treat them like dirt? You don't have to treat them with respect because they're not worth anything, right, to them. And they can have kids. That's what's so sickening about this whole thing. And we're just handing them over. We're just handing our children over to these people.
You know what? If I fucking do a war against goddamn Middle East and we blow up everything in the Middle East, there's going to be a pile of women that do nothing but nag.
Oh my God, you blew up those people. You blew up those people in their backwards ass religion.
Mm-hmm.
You did this, you did that.
My fucking God, I want a peaceful fucking life. Either give me the chance to have a peaceful fucking life, or let me be a hateful bigot when I see stupidity being brought into the 21st century and be able to call out evil when I see it. If I'm not allowed to be like, what the fuck are you cutting your daughter's clitoris for? If I'm not allowed to say that, then why in the fuck do I give a shit about anything anyone else has to say? That is the entire problem I have with the modern media today. Either I'm allowed to fucking voice my opinion, as unfucking healthy as it might be to shitty advertisers, cunty AI, and stupid fucking liberals, or instead I will just remain silent and paint my miniatures and not give a shit if the rest of the state turns fucking stupid green, because that's Muhammad's favorite color and we should be respected. Fuck Islam!
Yeah, I can understand. A lot of people feel the same way. And but the thing is, if nobody talks about it, there's so many people don't even know that it's even happening. That's the sad truth. You know what I mean? And I was shocked that this was even done by CNN. You know what I mean? At least this angle of it. You know, I was surprised by that. And in a way, it kind of gave me a little kind of glimmer of hope that maybe the people that own these companies, you know, for NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, all the other ones, that maybe they realize, man, you know, if we keep doing what we're doing, we're not going to have any customers, because no women are going to be able to watch this stuff unless the men say it's okay, if that happens. But hopefully it won't. I don't see it happening in some areas, but it doesn't matter if it's happening in any area in the United States of America, when we're supposed to have the Constitution to keep this kind of stuff from happening. You know, but the Constitution is only a piece of paper if you know, we don't enforce it. It's not any different than anything else, you know, like any other law. We see people, you know, getting in trouble for lots of different things. But if nobody does anything or puts anybody in jail or prosecutes anyone, then why even have the laws? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's going to take a bunch of us working together in each of our states to see something happen. If we don't, you know, we just sit back and wait for the federal government to do it, you know, I just don't see it happening. Trump is one person, okay? He can, and he wasn't the one that set it all up. This stuff has been going on for a long time, slowly being funneled in one direction. And I'll share a little tidbit of information real quick. Let me stop this. Let me make sure that's off. And I'm going to share another one that I found that I thought was pretty good. And it kind of pushes in the direction of one of the groups of people that have been pushing this agenda for all of us. And we either have to wake up and realize it's happening, or we just have to just say, oh, well, there ain't shit we can do about it. So I've been trying to do something.
What way do you want to go, Western man? What way do you want to go?
I want you to hear this in his own words. He's basically saying you just have to plant enough conspiracy theory that citizens no longer know what to believe, right? Once they lose trust in their leaders, you know, like we got everybody bickering and fighting about Democrats and Republicans and rhinos and this, that, and the other. I hate all of them. I hate everybody. I don't even want to talk about it. So I turn the TV off so you don't get informed. That's what they want. In mainstream media, in political institutions, each other, and in possibly the possibility of truth, and the game they win the game.
Well,
Once they
how do we
off the TV and not listening anymore, and just saying, oh, well, I can't do anything, and nothing gets done, nobody votes, nobody stands up for anything, they win. And that's what they want. So here we go. I want you to hear it in his own words.
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won. You just have to.
So I'm a bad guy for having the thoughts I've got.
So what? You're the bad guy for what?
For having the thoughts I have about Barry Soetoro, or what you guys call Barack Hussein Obama, having the thoughts I've got, and having the fucking experience I had as an Illinoisan, watching him dismantle things that he should have never had any fucking hands-on controls for. You know, I can't wait for that piece of shit half-cracker to become completely room temperature.
Well, the thing is,
I know that sounds like it's a baser mentality, but I don't want to give any breathing room to people that are evil. I want them gone. And if you guys keep saying, well, we're just going to vote our way out of this, you know what? I'm going to get enough money. I'm not going to be here. You guys can have this rotting corpse of a country, and I'm going to go fucking somewhere else where I don't have to worry about it. Because if I see somebody come on the property that doesn't need to be there, they want to install speakers for their shitty prayer call, I could put holes in them, feed them to my pigs and goats, and not give a shit about their life and not give a shit about the people that care about them. I want everybody of that mentality to be dead. I don't like fucking Middle Eastern countries. I don't like the theories behind all that shitty culture. And that guy, Obama, he's a dirt farmer. All he makes is the worst sludge for humanity, and he brings it up, and then fucking here's the media just gobbling it down, giving him more and more camera time because he's a little fucking socialist. He's a little party boy, drughead socialist. That's all he's ever been.
Look what happened. So many people just loved him and thought he was awesome. I remember a couple that was Catholics. They're Catholic, and they were telling me how much they liked him. And I just dug into him a little bit to find out about his voting and stuff as a senator, right? And I asked them, I said, aren't you Catholic? And they said, yes. And I said, well, you like him and you want him to be president and you voted for him as senator in your state? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, did you know that he voted in your state to let girls, 13 and 14-year-old girls, get abortions without even having to tell their parents in your state? And they went, what? They were shocked. That's the problem. People are not informed on what they vote for. They don't even know what they're voting for. They don't even know who they vote for because they don't spend 5 minutes of their time looking into the person they're going to vote for. So, of course, we're going to end up with all these people that are going to just jumping into this place and that place and doing whatever they want because we don't have voters that hold people accountable for their actions. You will be held accountable if you get a ticket or you don't pay your bills or any of these things because you are the taxpayer. So you will be held accountable. These people, because we put them up on a pedestal and we don't even care, we don't look into it, we don't research, we don't do anything. We just, expect them to fix things because they say they're going to do certain things, and then we don't expect them to do anything. So how do we expect anything to get better when we're never informing anyone of what's actually going on? That's why I do what I'm doing. A lot of people hate me. I get death threats. I get all this stuff. But guess what? I don't care because to me, if I get one person to make a difference in their community, then I've made a difference. And that's what I want. That's what I believe in. My dad was in the military. I support the military men because all of them have sacrificed themselves in their careers to try to make this a better country because of what they believe in the Constitution. And there are still people in office. Remember, I was talking about the 65 people that voted to release all those names. Okay, and 300 and something said no, but 65 said yes. So we still have good people in there trying to fight. And this little thing I'm about to show you proves that there's still good in our youngsters that are coming up and going to be taken over when we're not around. So I want to share this because these guys right here, these young men that you see in this picture, are the ones that stopped that active shooter. Remember, no cops or anything. These students did it. They took this guy out that came in to kill people. So little sparks of this is what proves to me that we, people like me and other people that feel the same way as I do, are instilling this in our young. And some of our young are going to step up and take over when we're not around. So I haven't given up because I do believe we still have this. And the fact that we have a president that I believe believes in this, okay, and these young men all received awards from their cadets. I just want you guys to see that these cadets, it says from Old Dominion University, who stopped an active shooter, received 8 service medals. Basically, 2 of them received Purple Hearts from the Sergeant Major of the Army and Secretary of the Army. So we have an administration that is rewarding young people that are willing to step up and do the right thing for their country and for the people in their communities. So there is things going on. It's just that we don't have a news people, journalists, NBC, CBS, all them that are willing to put this stuff out there and let people like us hear it. And the only way you're going to find out about it is if someone tells you about it or shares it with you, or some of the smaller things. I think, what's his name? The MyPillow guy. He has a news thing. They talk about stuff like this. So it is happening. It's just that we have to promote it and show that this is happening, because parents are telling their kids, if we don't fight for our country, there isn't going to be a country. So I believe that if we keep doing it and we keep doing what we're doing, we're making a difference. We are swaying people. It's just that some people just can't be helped. They're so far into the hole. It doesn't matter what happens or who helps them or what they see. They're just, you can't help them. You know what I mean? You can't help some people. And they feel the same way about us, like me. I'm useless. I should just go to a camp and die. That's what they told me during COVID, because I didn't want to get the shot, that I should just be put in a camp and not given medical treatment, even though I never got sick or I didn't get COVID. And I got tested one time and it made them take my blood and I never had it. So I'm just saying there's 2 sides to every story. And I feel like I'm on the right side. I'm on the side that believes in freedom and that people should be able to make their own decisions. And children shouldn't be sold as slaves or be treated as adults in the bedroom before they're adults, things like that. And I'm an advocate for that. And that's what I've said since the first time I've ever got to do a live stream with Bruce. I talked about that. So I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up, because I do believe in this type of thing, and that these young people are the ones that are going to step up and take over when we're not around anymore. So I just wanted to share that because it's a good story. But I've got a couple other things like that I think are pretty good, because things are happening. It's just that nobody talks about them.
Plenty of people I know have been talking about the kids that did the stabbing, or excuse me, the defense at the JROTC event. Plenty of people that I listen to have been talking about it, but yes, they're outside of the mainstream. One of them is Richard High of the Buffalo Police Department. He just put out a video earlier today talking about the young kids, and then he was screaming at the child that, or the young boy that did the majority of it, of the Brave action. They're like, please promote him ahead of his peers. Please promote him on the fast track because he showed initiative. He showed willingness to suffer injury at the expense of others' health. There's so many good things we could take out of this event, other than the fact that, another one of these barbarians from the Middle East is gone, or one of these idiots that follow crappy Middle Eastern ideas is gone. And we really do need to look deeper at why our media does not celebrate things of that nature. I don't know why the news does that. And so I
do. I've talked about it a million times. The Smith-Mundt Act, Act that Obama signed lets the media not have to be honest.
So with that in mind, Janet, there's a reason why I financially choke mainstream media from my existence. I don't listen to any CNN. I don't get on Fox News's website. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about what they think or what they have to say or what their financiers think. I do a lot of my own investigative news searching. I will do what I can to propagate and hold up people that actually do deliver the news, like the Next News Network. I honestly feel that if everybody did that and they cut their fucking cable bill, they said, fuck you, you're done. No more cable bill, no more free money for ESPN and Disney. Suck a dick. If they would do that, just get internet only and do what they could to make sure that they financially isolate and extract as much of that parasitic activity from their lives, I think the world would be a lot better. But then again, I'm also talking about you people that you guys would rather drive an automatic vehicle down the goddamn highway than put up with having to clutch through everything. God damn it, you fuckers are so fucking lazy.
Well, I know how to drive a stick, so I won't be stuck stranded on the road when when all those are gone. But yeah, I agree with you on a lot of that stuff. But the thing is, all of us have to do our part to make sure that we keep doing what we're doing. Just like you, I don't watch any of these news people. I don't watch a lot of these things. I barely watch television. I get most of my stuff from YouTube and Rumble and X and different places like that. And that's where I get my entertainment. This is my social life right here. So some people could say, hey, man, she's pitiful or, whatever. But the thing is that I do talk to real people, and I share this kind of stuff at the gym or with my sisters or when I go to the store or different things that I'm doing. Or you like my trip I took, we talked about a lot of these things. But the thing is that I'm not afraid to, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I don't care if people like me because of my point of view. That's fine. They don't have to like me. I'm just not squeamish about that. I'm not ashamed to say, I voted for Trump. I'm not. And, and I feel bad for people who feel like they have to hide their true feelings simply because, I won't fit in. They won't like me. They'll put the finger at me, all that. And I feel sorry for those people. Those people are not ready for real life yet. Even I don't care how old they are. They're not ready to deal with the aftermath of things that's going to happen. And it's going to still keep happening. It's going to get a little bit worse before it's going to get better. I've heard many, many people say that. But I'm trying to find this one thing I wanted to share really quick. Darn it, where is it? Just give me 1 second. Because there's a couple of other good things that are happening and nobody's talking about them. I think it's this one and that one. Okay, here's one of number 17. So let me open this really quick. Sorry, I'm really not very good at this stuff. But this is some of the things that are happening that no one talks about, that stuff is happening and things are being put in motion. It's just that we have to have people enforce it. And hopefully, it will happen. But if people don't know about it, then nothing will happen, because nothing changes if nobody makes any changes. You know what I mean? If nobody gets off their ass and makes the first steps towards getting rid of something or adding something, nothing will ever be different. But I thought this was pretty interesting. It says Virginia is allowing 22-year-old grown men, illegal migrants who don't speak English, to enroll in public high school with your 14 and 15-year-old daughters and sons. Mind you, American kids get booted at 20. If you're 20, they won't let you go back to school unless you're an illegal. You know, this one of these people. Illegals can stay until 22, free of charge, thanks to Virginia Code 22-1-5D. It says that this is exactly why 19-year-old illegal from Salvador who was enrolled at Fairfax High School is now charged with groping multiple teenage girls in hallways. It's not compassion. It's putting American children in danger. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because it is getting put on the news, because Fox News is talking about it. The thing is, if nobody listens to it and talks about it and shares it with others, then nobody knows about it. So that's why I like doing this. A lot of people hate politics. They don't want to talk about it because they get angry or whatever. But the thing is, I am angry. I get very angry about it. And that's one reason why I don't care if I have 2 people watch me. I'm still going to do it because I'm making an effort. I'm doing something. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. That people say, nobody does anything. Voting our way out isn't going to work. This ain't going to work. That's not going to work. The thing is, I'm doing something. I'm trying to inform people. And guess what? I work the polls, and I'll sign up for jury duty. You know, I do stuff. I do get involved because I have kids. I have daughters. And believe me, there's a lot of things that I don't want here, not just for myself, but for anyone's daughters or anyone's sons that has to go through some of these things. Because it's not just girls that this bad shit happens to. And I'm not saying it's going to happen to everyone, but the chances get bigger and bigger if we do nothing. So I think this is great. I'm going to play this for you because this is something that you should tell people. Why is it that you and I, are paying to let people keep going to school to learn how to speak English, right? When we won't even do it for our own Americans. You know, the kid that for whatever reason didn't get to finish school or just had a bad life and didn't study the way they should have and wants to go back to school. Why shouldn't we help him? If he's an American citizen, they say, fuck you, which I think is fucked up. And that's why I'm talking about it. So here we go. I'm going to play this for you.
A Virginia mom is speaking out over a statewide policy that allowed for a 19-year-old illegal immigrant from El Salvador to be a student at her daughter's high school, where he is now accused of groping girls in the hallways between classes. Israel Flores Ortiz entered the country illegally 2 years ago under Joe Biden. And even though he's 19 years old, which is older than the average high school graduate, he was still enrolled as a student. And in the state of Virginia, that is completely legal. Virginia public schools have a policy for students from other countries. And that policy reads in part, quote, if an English learner student is enrolled in a Virginia public school and turns 22 during that school year, that student may continue through the end of that school year. Now, to put that into perspective, high school freshmen are typically between the ages of 14 and 15. So theoretically, this man could have stayed in the Virginia public school system until he was 22 years old, with people almost...
Hey, Janet, can you pause it?
Yeah.
22 is...
Okay, what ancestry is this thing?
I think he's from Venezuela, but I don't. I'd have to go back and listen to.
Are we sure? Are we sure it's not Middle Eastern or like say Somali?
I'd have to listen to him again.
Okay, because something that can't graduate high school by the age of 20, we used to call that retarded.
Well, it's because they don't speak English.
That's not my problem.
I know, but this is something I've said before. Down where my dad lives, the neighbors next door to him, all the adults, none of them speak English. All the kids are going to school, so they speak English, some English, but not really real well because their parents, none of them speak English. But the thing is, they live in a house and they go to work at the chicken plant and they can't speak English. Just think about that. And nobody's saying, hey, if you want to work here, you have to take a class to learn how to speak English. They couldn't fill out the paperwork because they can't read. See, that's what I'm saying. We are just like all these people, these truckers. Remember, we've done a couple shows about the truckers that can't even read the road signs, yet they have a license to drive a huge truck that can kill tons of people going down the road. And until we stop it or airing it and talking about it, a lot of people are now being pulled over and they're asked right then and there, can you see this? Can you read this? And if they can't, guess what? They're taking away their license, taking away their truck, and most of them are being deported after that. But it's sad that it got this bad. And guess what? One of the worst states is California, giving out these licenses. So, but it is happening. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that because of this kind of stuff, reports like this, more and more people are learning about it and then saying, we don't want those people on the road. We don't want them to risk killing my family. Now, the people that gave the license in California, they don't give a shit because it isn't going to be there. They're leaving California and driving their haul and stuff out of their state and killing people in other states and running people off the road and doing damage to roads and whatever else and other people's vehicles. But they don't have to deal with it because they're getting their money in their state. So they don't care. And that's the problem. And those people should be punished too. Anyone who gives a license to someone that they know cannot speak English and couldn't even have filled out the stuff to take the test should also be arrested and be put through court and fined or put in jail or whatever the laws are. But until we do something, nothing is going to happen. It's just like telling your kid, no, I don't want you smoking and I don't want you skipping school. But then when you catch them, you just go, oh, well, try not to do it again. Be a fucking parent, do what you're supposed to keep your kid from getting in trouble. Ground them, take their phones away. Don't let them drive. Whatever you have to do, be a parent to your kid, because they need a parent so that they can one day be an adult and take care of themselves. Because what if you get hit by a bus tomorrow? Who's going to take care of your kid? They can't cook. They can't do anything because you did nothing to teach them how to survive out on their own. Our parents are failing our kids because we're not teaching them to be adults and what they're going to do when they grow up. Can they read? Can they write? Can they do arithmetic? Can they wash clothes? Can they cook for themselves? All these things, what our parents did for us, we're supposed to be doing for our kids, but yet we're just saying, well, it's just too much work. Well, I don't know. We're pussyfying our children. We need to, girls should know how to change a tire on a car in case they're driving down the road and they get a flat. Are they going to stand around and just wait for someone to come and wait on them? That's ridiculous. There's so many things that we could do to help our children help themselves. Yet so many people choose not to do it. I just don't understand it, but it's ridiculous. But I wanted to share that because this was on TV, something's changing. See, and that's what I'm talking about. People are seeing it, getting upset and taking action. They're pushing something so that it does, stop. And here's the next thing I wanted to share really quick. This is a good thing. I was really happy when I read this. I think it's number 17. Hold on, let me look. James, I think it's this one. No, it's the wrong one. Sorry, I'm so bad at doing this and being able to see. Maybe it's that's the wrong one. Maybe it's number 10.
This is where I need you to do harder capitalism. That way you can pay your daughter to be a producer and have her click the links for you.
she doesn't want to do this. She went to school. She is a surgical nurse for a oral surgeon, and she likes it. She was a paramedic first, and that's what she does, and she enjoys it.
I was just saying, like, or it doesn't be your daughter, but get a producer or get like your own version of like.
If I ever make money, I'd be happy to hire someone to help me. But
I know.
It's not gonna happen. But that's why I'm doing the best I can. I don't know how I lose stuff. It sucks. Maybe
it's really weird because
here it is. I found it. Sorry.
Take care of local business.
Okay, it says the Supreme Court just ruled parents are allowed to opt out their children from being indoctrinated by the LGBTQ propaganda. So I wanted to play this because stuff is happening. It's just, if you do it legally, it takes a little bit more time, but then you have precedent to be able to force them to not let them force your kid to do this or that, and we can say no. And they
religious liberty and whether parents should be informed and be able to opt their children out from reading books in the classroom that go against their faith. Shannon Bream is at the Supreme Court. We were watching for this one. What's the verdict?
We were, Dana. So this brought together a coalition of parents of different religious faiths and backgrounds who said there used to be a rule in this particular school district that would let them know when there were books that dealt with issues that may be in conflict with their religious faith. Well, so many parents were opting out that the school board and the school district quit doing it. Well, 6-3 today in a decision by Justice Alito, they said these parents have earned at least a preliminary injunction. So while this case plays out, they said the board has to notify them about a book that's in question or anything similar, so that their kids can be excused if it's in conflict with their faith. He says, as we've explained, without that, parents are left this choice: either risk their child's exposure to burdensome instruction or pay substantial sums for alternative educational services. Because at one point, Justice Jackson, during the arguments, had said, why don't they just go to a different school? Why don't you put them in private school or homeschool them? Justice Alito and others saying that's not practical for a lot of people. The dissent by Justice Sotomayor, joined by Justices Kagan and Jackson, says today's ruling threatens the essence of public education. She says it's not about bringing kids together to learn about a particular faith, but a range of concepts and views that reflect our entire society. Exposure to new ideas has always been a vital part of that project until now. The dissenters didn't think that the parents should get the opt-out. Justice Alito and the majority say they should.
Well, what was really shitty about that whole thing is I remember when Hillary Clinton was saying stuff like, it takes a village to raise a child, right? And that's what parents are for. A parent carries their child in their body and they give birth to it. They pay the medical bills. They buy the diapers, the food. They take care of it. They do all these things. And they're the ones that should be able to say, I want my kid to do this, or I want my kid to do that. It's not the school that has the right to say, well, we're going to teach your kid this and we don't give a shit. Just like, oh, we're going to put a cat litter box in there and your kid can pretend to be a kitty cat every day. That dumb shit. So it's slowly going through the courts where the parents are taking back their rights that should never have been given away. But when you become complacent and you put your kid in school and expect them to raise your kid, and then they come home, they're a latchkey kid because you got a job, your husband's got a job and whatever. And that's what happens. That's why even if you both have to work, you have to work it out till one of you goes to parent-teacher conferences, one of you does this, one of you does that, and work it out, because your kid is your future, okay? Is the future of everything. Our kids are supposed to step up, take our place when we're not around anymore. So if we aren't responsible and take care of our kids and make sure our kids can make good decisions, we're putting it in the hands of these politicians and these teachers and other people to just, do whatever they want with your kid. And that isn't what I would do. I took up from work many times and had to work late into the night to make up for it, just because I said, hey, I'm going to this meeting, and if you don't like it, you can fire me, and you're not going to find anybody as good as me. So I never got fired, but I did go to these meetings and stuff because it's important. We have to do it. They're our responsibility, and it's up to us to make sure that we do the right thing. But I saw this one thing that I want to share on my timeline, and I listened to it, and I was like, wow. He explains it really, really well. And I really agree with a lot that he says. So I want to share this about what Trump is doing and how he's trying to do it. And I know it's a lot of people are impatient and they're tired of waiting, because we have been waiting since his first presidency. And then we had to sit back during the, Bernie and weekend at Sanders, whatever weekend with Bernie Sanders weekend, or whatever you want to call it. It was terrible the whole time that Biden was president. But we wanted to make changes then, but we couldn't. Okay, because they put a fake person as president with an auto pen doing whatever, spending money out the wazoo, as we were seeing more and more fraud being uncovered, billions and billions of dollars that should have went into our accounts for our Social Security and our veterans and our streets and our schools, our hospitals. All of our states should have each gotten this money, but it got wasted, and it's still being wasted. And the people are pissed off that we're finding fraud. It's shocking to me how many people are defending all these criminals, and they're taking your money. It's your money that should be in your bank account or in your 501k or whatever thing that you was wanting to put your money in. And now they're saying, oh, we need to raise Social Security to 70 years old because they're wasting the money that we've been putting in our whole life. Stuff like that. We need to start fighting and say, fuck you guys. When Congress gets the same health care as our veterans, things will start changing. But see, as long as they get the Cadillac of best, and then they get a huge retirement, when none of our other people, our military guys, get it, I just think that they should be treated the same way as our military. If they're serving our country, they're serving our country as a military person or as a congressman, they shouldn't get any better treatment. If you can't treat our veterans as good as you're treating a congressman or a senator, then screw them. I don't think they should get shit. And I think we should have term limits. 8 years is it. You can't be in there till you're 94 years old and people are changing, your assistants are changing your diaper for you in your office while you sit there going, ooh, not knowing what the fuck's going on. I'm sick of this shit. And that's because people just sit around. Look what just happened in Florida, right where Mar-a-Lago is at. They just voted in a Democrat senator. You know that in Florida? That just happened. So people are still sitting behind the wheel unconscious. With all the stuff that we've seen going on, people are and that wasn't a cheating. There wasn't cheating going on. That was lazy ass people not going to the polls because they're bitter or they're mad or whatever their reason. But guess what? That's why the Democrats win so much, because we have too many people that get a stick up their ass. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to help. Whatever it is, and they don't go. And guess what? It didn't help. Because now they got a Democrat senator for 4 years at least. Hope you guys like what you get when you get higher taxes and you all want to move and you can't sell your place because there's not enough rich people to buy your shit. So stop being stupid and start taking back what belongs to you, which is your freaking state and your towns. I want you to listen to this guy because he's saying that Trump is creating a new republic right before our eyes, and he tries to explain it to you. So it's about almost 4 minutes long, but he's really, really good. So here we go.
We're watching a global system get dismantled in real time, and most people, they have no idea what it even is. We're in the middle of a complete global restructure, and that's what I've been talking about for the last 3 days, if you've been listening. 2 days ago, I talked about Trump cutting off globalist money pipelines flowing out of Venezuela and South America. And then yesterday, I talked about how America is divorcing itself from Europe, unfortunately. And today, we're talking about a brand new economic powerhouse forming right in front of us. So here's the through line. For decades, a tiny network of unelected institutions, central banks, through supernatural clubs and a globalist architecture behind the dollar system, quietly decided how the world works. It wasn't presidents, it wasn't voters, and it wasn't the nations. And that's exactly why parts of Washington are melting down right now. Parts of Europe are even melting down as well. Because Trump is dismantling that system piece by piece faster than anyone expected, and the Europeans are freaking out. Look at the AI chip approvals with China. That wasn't weakness, that was leverage. And sending Kushner and Witkoff speaking directly to Putin, that bypassed the old diplomatic channels that have controlled global affairs for over 70 years. And now we have this provocative idea bouncing around DC. Listen to this. They're calling it the Core Five. America, China, Russia, India, and Japan. A strategic alignment that sidelines Europe overnight. Do you realize what's going on here? Do you see the scale of what's happening? And of course, the White House denies it. They have to, right now anyway. But everyone in the national security world is saying the same thing. You know what? It fits the pattern. Trump already called the G7 obsolete. He thinks the UN Security Council is a museum piece, and he's openly challenging NATO. And the new national security strategy, well, it literally warns that Europe faces civilizational erasure. You may not like his style, but he's not wrong about the system being broken. And here's the real danger, and I mean danger for him. When you start dismantling global lifelines, the financial networks, the alliances, the influence circuits that keep entire nations and institutions alive, you don't just disrupt power. You expose all the ride-alongs, the fake supporters, the people terrified that their world of profit and power is ending. That's why you see all the panic. That's why you see all this infighting in Europe. And that's why the same people who pretended to love America are now screaming as the old structure collapses, because this right here is a restructuring of the world order. And they're losing power and money. And for the first time in our lifetime, it's being led not by globalists, but by a man and a movement who believes the nation should control their own destiny. And that puts him in dire danger. America first triggered them before like crazy, but America restructured, that terrifies him even more. And here's what most people aren't even noticing. This restructuring doesn't just challenge Europe or South America, it challenges BRICS. Because if the USA, China, Russia, India, and Japan form a stable competitive economic bloc, then BRICS loses its leverage altogether. It loses its urgency and possibly its entire purpose, which is good for the Americans. This forces them to rethink everything, the same way it forces Europe to rethink everything. And all of this is exactly what Trump said he was going to do in the first place. So when you look at this moment, ask yourself something. What's missing? If all of this is breaking apart, where's the foundation? Where's the leadership at? Our level, the citizens. And this is exactly why we go back to the same message I always share. Citizen servant leaders matter now more than ever, because the world is shifting so fast. People are sick of bureaucrats and polished politicians. It's the citizens, you, in your town, your city, your state, your nation, who must decide what comes next. The bureaucratic elite, these global institutions controlling everything, it's cracking in a big way. And if we get in there, citizens who aren't bought, who aren't beholden, who are free, then we can lead. And you know what? It's time that we lead. It's time to take America back. Join me on Patreon and find out how you can get involved with Take America Back, because it's an organization starting, it's a movement, and it's happening right in front of you.
I really like this guy, and I'm going to share his link really quick. Hold on. I got to go get it. Darn it.
I know this sounds really bad. I got texting you on Discord and other things, and I didn't even hear what he said. I understand there's a new republic going on, and we're trying to dismantle the current power bullshit that's going on with other crappy areas that should be Western civilization, but it's not. So Filka has been trying to reach you, by the way. I don't see them in the YouTube chat. I see them in the StreamYard chat. I don't know how they're doing that. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you? Okay, look at your comments.
Okay, in my StreamYard, or go to
on your StreamYard.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tab for your comments for the chat that's going on right now. Sven Filka has been trying to get your attention, but when I went over to YouTube so I could type shit into the chat, I didn't see Sven Filka. I didn't see that person. they only appear in StreamYard. This is, I don't know if this is a StreamYard thing. I don't give money to StreamYard because they censor my fucking statements. So I don't.
Well,
I only talk shit about them on
the reason you're not seeing it is because he's in the opposite one. It looks like he's in the one for the phone.
Oh,
remember
so they segregate.
So
well, that's another
I
reason
have
not to
two
use that
different
fucking.
things. One is for a phone, and one is for, and he's in the phone one.
I'm good.
And I can see him over there. But the thing is, I am putting his stuff up there when I go back and
I
forth.
see that you are. I didn't know how you were doing that if you weren't able to see it. But they were trying to get your attention.
In YouTube, and because I got both my little deals open on my phone, so I can see the two different ones, and I have it on StreamYard. But StreamYard isn't the one that does both of them. It's YouTube that's now doing that.
Okay. Well,
because I don't have that on X, and I don't have it on Rumble. I'm sorry, what?
StreamYard censors the shit out of me because they've got a lot of AI bullshit. YouTube does too, but if it never gets to YouTube to be censored, I mean, YouTube allows me to have a channel. StreamYard would censor my statements to people when I was a paying customer of theirs, which is why they're no longer in my goddamn checkbook. Yeah. It's fucking great. Restream, kids. I'm just that guy, from what he was saying, he seemed like he was a little bit behind on shit. Maybe I'm wrong, but
no. The thing is, you got to remember, I took it because it came across my timeline. He might have put it out last week, but if I just saw it and I listened to the story, I'm going to play it because I don't think if I hadn't heard it, maybe there's other people who haven't. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that he just did it today. That's why I shared his link so you can go back and you can see some of his other stuff that he's done and what he's got that's new on there, because there was like, I think 6 other videos when I went to his thing after this one. So I don't know what those are about because I didn't read them. I was just going to see him on his account so that I could put him on here for that, what he was particularly talking about what Trump is trying to do, so that people could see it from that point of view. That's what I was trying to share. Just because it wasn't for today. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So you could go to his thing and get caught up on a lot of other things he's talking about, because he does. He breaks it down really well, and he tries to talk where people like me that's not all in there, or not like you. When you talk about certain things in the military and you use military time and stuff, sometimes I have no idea what you're trying to explain. I have to ask you a bunch of questions, and I know that's a pain in the butt for some people, but people like me, it's got to be dumbed down a little bit so that I can understand it in my terms, because I'm not an engineer. I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? So that's why I pick things like that sometimes, because I have 4 sisters that are, on my level. And I know that other people have to be around in there. So they might be interested. But that's why I like to share the links, because that way you can go back and see what else is over there that might, pique your interest, and then you might find out a little more about some subject that this person might be talking about. So I just think that stuff is important to share, and I try to do that as much as I can, because I think it's something important that needs to be shared, if it's something that I've seen or heard. But there was a story that came up that I watched, and I was really shocked when I watched it, because I had heard people talk about it before, because I do go to a lot of things with veterans and hang out with a lot of veterans, when I go to, some of their halls and things like that. And I heard this story, and it really made me think about what Trump is doing right now peace through strength. Okay. And my dad used to talk about that a lot. Maybe it's because of Ronald Reagan, because I remember my dad talking about, was it Jimmy Carter, the president before him? Right. And they had a bunch of people had kidnapped a bunch of people from the Olympics or something. And Ronald Reagan had said something about, if you don't let them go, you're going to be sorry, basically. And they believed him. So they released them because they knew that he was just going to turn them into a big parking lot if they didn't do what they were told. Because that's one thing I can say about Trump. When Trump says, we're going to do this, and he went to California for the fires. And when he said, I'm going to do this, and he went to the flooding areas and talked to the people himself with his wife. Remember that? When he says something, he does it. Okay, that's the difference between him and Sleepy Joe Biden and a few others that just send pallets of cash in the middle of the night instead of telling us what they're doing. And Trump getting all these people to come to his office when he signs executive orders, and they talk about what he's doing because he's trying to let you see what he's doing each day. He's trying to be transparent. He's trying to show you, this is what you asked me to do, and these are the things that I'm trying to do that for you, because that's what you guys wanted. 80-something million people voted for Trump, and he's trying to fulfill what he said he would do. So, and I think he's doing the best he can, especially since he's having to do most of it with executive orders because we have a crappy rhino-filled Congress and Senate. They're just, to me, I am so let down by the people that we thought was going to help. And they didn't, because none of them, most of them, like I said, there's like 65 in there that care and are trying to do America first things that we want. And the rest of them are just dragging their feet, trying. Look, it's already over a year that he's been president, and look what hasn't been done, because they're all lame ass pieces of shit that are getting a check for doing squat. That's how I look at it. And I really feel that way. And that's why I try to share as much as I can about what Trump is doing compared to what they aren't doing. When they said and they ran on his coattails and wanted him to come to their state and pump sunshine up their ass. But now he's not there in their state and they ain't doing shit, except for dragging their feet. So I don't know. The only thing I can think of is us exposing these people and talking about it and saying, get off your damn ass and do your damn jobs. You shouldn't get paid. And I don't think none of them should get a paycheck until all these other people get checks. If they work for the government, they don't get squat. They get nothing. That's how I believe that. I really feel that. I wish we could do that. I wish there was a way that we could say, screw you. If you're going to make our soldiers go without pay, or our ICE agents, or anyone else that's working for the government, TSA or whatever, you don't get a check. I think that's perfectly fair for them. And the fact that they're trying to ram shit through just so they can go home for Easter, and half of them aren't even Christians, at least they don't act like it, in my point of view. It's pretty lame. They want to go home and throw Easter eggs at people and shit, but they don't want to do the job that we put them in there to do and get things taken care of. People were going without paychecks, and Easter's coming, and they can't even buy an Easter basket for their grandkids or their children. It's disgusting. They repulse me. All these people are just pieces of shit. That's how I look at them. And I'm ashamed that I helped put some of these people in office simply because I pushed the narrative to back Trump. Do America first. And that's what's sad, is the fact that they say this, that, and the other, and they don't do shit. It's just.
It's all right. I mean, we've all been bamboozled by these people that said, I'm for smaller government. I'm just like you. And then they get in and they balloon the fuck out of it. And we're there going, wait, I thought you didn't want this. What is the purpose of bringing you into this because all you've done is multiply my losses. I don't want to be taxed harder. I want to be taxed less. I need roads and I need bridges to get to work and to do things effectively. But I don't give a shit about your stupid pet projects. And I want you to find a better way to make money to pay for them. And if you can't, then they just won't get done because nobody else wants to invest in that shit either. I mean, as much as I know that we need to help out the homeless and the displaced vets, I know that the government throwing millions of dollars at it is very ineffective and it never solves the issue.
Because the people, just like how many times have you gone to DMV office?
But before we go down that road, I want to finish that thought.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
We used to actually help the homeless and we used to be able to diagnose those that needed help, but it was not from the government or governed body. It was typically the Catholic charities. And I'm not saying that I love Catholics when I say that. What I'm saying is that Catholic charities were the tip of the spear when it came to taking care of urban reform and getting people off their streets and making sure they had food and a roof over their head. And then they start getting into their personal life and trying to figure out, like, why are you homeless? Why are you here? What do we need to do to make you to where you want to pay bills and live under your own roof and have your own refrigerator? And they used to do that. They used to do that really well. But unfortunately, nowadays, that has been mostly taken over by the shitty government that we have. And we're not allowed to support the Catholic charities or like organizations because the government will not take less in taxes. Nope, we got to have enough to where Doge gets involved, and then we find out where all the waste is going. So now that I've said that, I'm done. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is the problem is just like DMV. When you go to DMV, you sit there forever because they're mingling around or on the phone or whatever they're doing. They're not really spending time waiting on the people that are standing in line to get their new tags or get something ready for their motorcycle or whatever it is, or get their picture taken for their driver's license, right? It's not run well, okay? Because they've added so much red tape to all of these government offices that it just drags on. All of it needs to be done. Just like what Elon was saying, they need to be revamped. Someone needs to go in and set it up like a business and say, there's no reason you should be losing all this money and this time and effort for hours that are going in and having a building that you're paying, $1 million a month for. Like we found out a couple buildings in Ohio, they were spending $1 million a month for rent. And there was only like, say it's a 30-story building and only 7 floors were even being used. Stuff like that. That's where all the waste is. There's so much waste because it's mismanaged so bad. And instead of fixing it, they just pass it on to the next person. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. So what has to happen is each state has to have a Doge person. Remember, we talked about this once before. Have a Doge person, and that person is the one that goes through all the federal government offices and stuff one by one, and goes in and says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to find out where all the waste is. And we're going to get rid of it. And we're going to restructure it. And it's going to be run like this. And that person holds all the people that are boss jobs all the way down in whatever it is, Veterans Affairs, DMV, all that different junk. And they fix it. And it's going to take some time. But the thing is, until we start doing it, nothing's going to get better. You see what I mean? But I think it can help. That's why I think it was great when Elon brought in all those young people to sit and just go through stuff and come up with ideas to find out why this waste was so bad in this one area or there, whatever it was. And they did a great job. And they were eager to go do this job. They were sleeping on the floor. They were sleeping on couches. They were willing to do that for a small amount of money. But the experience that they got for getting to work with Elon and these other people for a brand new thing to clean house in the government. And these were young people. These weren't a bunch of 70-year-old, bankers and shit. These were young college students that were stepping up to help fix the mess that all these other people have made, right? To come up with ways to try to fix it. And that made me proud to see all these young people stepping up to do that and to learn something under Elon Musk and this administration, something that they can put in their belt and maybe start, as entrepreneurs or whatever, to do it. So we do have young people that are wanting to see a change in the way things are done, because they don't want to take on this debt. When your kid's born, they're already millions of dollars in debt. You know what I mean? Just because they were born. With all the crap, now we're finding out why we're in debt. It's not because you and I spent too much money or we didn't pay enough in taxes. It's because they were sending it to everybody and their brother, buying shit, partying, whatever it was. What they were saying, that even the California is worse than what we've been found out about in Minnesota, thanks to a couple of people that accidentally stumbled into something and started digging, because they took time out of their lives to dig and find out what the fuck is this mess, and then somebody found out about it and actually put it in the news. It became a real journalist to say, hey, look what's going on. So it's brought to light because somebody gave a shit. But what this next story I wanted to show, I want people to watch it because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have never heard of it and will think it's interesting. But this kind of thing is because I believe in what Trump was saying about peace through strength, which means you tell them we're going to fucking blow you the shit out of here or whatever if you don't fall in line with what we've been trying to do for the last 50 years and you've just squandered all that. Well, we're not like that anymore. This is the rule. You either do it or else, okay, like you should do with your kids, or put them in line. You put them on the straight and narrow, and you demand action. And just like we would want somebody, like when you wanted to get your house, you want to get moved in, and they told you it would be done on this day, and then you go and they fucked you over, so now you got to wait another 2 weeks or whatever, and that wasn't your fault. But those people should be held accountable because they didn't do what they said they would do. And it should be like that with so many things in our lives. And how much better everyone's lives would be if everybody's held accountable to what they said they were going to do. And what you paid for, you should get what you paid for. Things like that. So I want to share this story with these veterans because you know how I am with veterans, because these people did their jobs, and a lot of them are paying for it now because they weren't 100% in the know about what was going on. But when somebody threatens somebody with a bomb or whatever else, that we're going to drop bombs on you, we're going to do this or that, because we're not going to let you get a nuclear weapon, maybe more people will understand that don't understand right now if they see this. So, and it's from the veterans. They're the ones that they're telling the story. So I want to share this with people who may never have seen it before or even knew about it. So this is the reason why I believe in peace through strength, because I don't want to see that something like this ever happen again. And that's why I believe that we have to do it the right way and let the right people handle it. And for the people that shouldn't be involved should step out of the way and let the professionals handle it. So here we go. This is the Atomic Veterans. These are, it says, when the flash hits you, you could see the x-rays of your hand through your closed eyes. This is a really, really good, and I would like for you guys to watch this. It's 4 minutes long, but these guys sacrificed for basically what happened to stop the war. And I don't ever want to see any of our guys go through something like this again. And we won't if we do peace through strength, like what I think we're seeing now. We know that if we can do it with just this and get it done in a targeted attacks, basically, and end it that way, that's what we should do. I don't want to send people out there to do things. And I just want you guys to hear these people's stories. So I'm going to turn it up, make sure it's ready. Here we go. I wanted people to see that because a lot of people have no idea what those were British soldiers, but it's the same type of thing happens to our soldiers. Okay. And they go through a lot to keep us safe here in America. And most people don't even think about the military, any of the things that they're doing. And when you have a good leader that's in charge, you have things like what happened when they went in and got Maduro, right? It's fast, quick, and it's done. It's over with. All the people get out. Everything goes like clockwork. That's what's supposed to happen. But when you have someone in charge that doesn't really care about your soldiers, like we had when Biden was president, because that's how I felt, when he told our soldiers, well, sorry you don't have enough money, get on food stamps. I was fucking mad, because a person who's willing to lay down their life for their country and they've already enlisted and they're willing to go over there or do whatever, and we're telling them, here's some food stamps because you're not worth anything more than that. But yet these people are fighting every day to not pass the SAVE Act, to give that money that should go to those people to people who just walked over the border and that are sending their kids to school. They're getting free places to live. We got sanctuary cities that are putting some of these criminals back on the street rather than send them back to where they came from, and hurting Americans that were born here. It's pathetic. I don't understand where they're coming from when they're putting people like that above people like us, the taxpayer, people that actually are from here, that should come first. And it just seems like it's this big jumbled mess, and people are throwing fits and having tantrums because these people deserve free shit when they did nothing to earn it. We have people that have been paying in since they were 15, 16 years old, and now they're in their 80s and they're getting Social Security, but they're not getting what they should be getting in Social Security because so much of it has been wasted out there. And then we got people being told, oh, we're probably going to be 70 before you're going to be able to get it, even though you've already been paying into it for 40 years or whatever amount of time. It's disgusting to me. And then we have all these people, they're up there throwing tantrums, which I'm going to show in just a few minutes, a few stupid little tantrums that are being thrown because they don't give a shit about you and I, the ones who are paying the bills. That's why I really wish that these people were treated the same way as our veterans. Because if you gave a congressman the same medical insurance and the same medical doctors and the same way these people were treated compared to what they get, and then they got the same paychecks, the same everything that a military guy, a veteran, would get to a congressman or a senator, I wonder how long it would take for them to fix some of the problems that we've had with our veterans healthcare. If they had to have the same thing. You know what I mean? There's a TV shows where they put people on an island together and they all have to do certain things, right, to see who wins or to survive each day. And then they take like a group of people and they take the wife swap or whatever it was. You know how they moved all these things around, or Undercover Boss and all these different shows. They can do all that, yet Congress can't seem to do their jobs. When we put them in office, they get their check, they get their shoes shined, their hair done, they get all these things done for them there, when we have veterans that are sitting in the street and they're not eating. stuff like that. It's sickening to me. I don't know how anyone isn't holding all these people accountable. And here they are running off to have Easter break. It's sickening to me. It repulses me so bad. And guess what? I didn't serve in the military, but my dad did. My grandpa did, and many other people in different branches of the service did their time in the service, and they deserve more and to be treated better than what we see happening on a daily basis. And then I hear other people that never were in the service talk about, oh, the military, they get free dental and they get this and they get that, when they don't. Because a lot of these people aren't getting the things that you think that they're getting simply because someone else told you that's what they're getting. It's not true. When you have a president telling them to get on food stamps because they have to pay for their own apartments, stuff like that, they're not all living on military bases, things like that. We're not informed about where our military lives, or if they're in your own town. Like if you have a recruiter in your town, guess what? He's not living on a military base. He's just living in a house somewhere in your neighborhood, trying to recruit people into whatever branch of service he's in. Things like that. People have no clue because they don't want to know and they don't give a shit. So until people start giving a shit, nothing's going to change. It's like sitting back going, well, and this gets better and that gets better, blah, blah, blah. But nobody's getting off their ass and doing anything. It's never going to get better. It's never going to change. That movie came out, The Sound of Freedom, and everybody was talking about, oh, we need to do more to help the trafficking, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 days later, nobody's talking about it anymore. But guess what? People are still being trafficked. But yes, under Trump, I've seen more people rescued and more people arrested than under Obama or Biden's administrations. Because guess what? I follow that stuff. I have friends that work for the Shepherd's Watch Foundation and other organizations like that. And I'm telling you right now, they love this administration because this administration is actually doing something. When they had the rapid DNA tests at the border. So when someone was coming over with 5 or 6 kids and they're like saying, oh, this is my nieces and nephews and my kid. And then they do a DNA and none of them have anything to do with this person because they're being trafficked over the thing. But then soon as Trump got taken out, Biden got rid of all that. You know why? Because it's easier to bring a bunch of kids over the border to get rid of or make slaves, do whatever they're doing with when they can't prove that they're not the parent or the uncle, because it's easy to do that when you just have a couple pieces of paper. It's sad because so many people just say, oh, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to be bothered by it. Oh, I want to have coffee in peace and quiet. I don't want to have to look at kids that are being abused. What planet are you guys from? What do you guys want to see in the future? Like I just showed you that 9-year-old girl being sold because that's the only thing they can do to make money to be able to feed the rest of their families. So they're sacrificing their kids to do it instead of sacrificing themselves. If the dad can't go out and make money, maybe he should have sold himself to that guy as a slave instead of selling his 9-year-old kid, But see, that won't happen because in countries like that, men are real. Women and children like that are just pieces of meat for bartering. They have nothing. Women are useless. They're just for procreation. That's it. They're to give birth, feed, and wait on us, and do what they're told, and only speak when they're spoken to. Things like that. But nobody wants to take the time to understand what that's like watching movies like the one review that Bruce and I did, Not Without My Daughter. You watch a few things like that, your eyes start to open. You start realizing, and guess what? A lot of people don't want to see that. They don't want to realize that might be coming to a city near you. Because it's already happening. They're building mosques all over the place. And guess what? In those little areas, their laws rule, not yours, and not the, even though it's on American soil, not the Constitution. But until
You know,
people
it's
start
it's
paying
funny we
attention.
keep going back to how many mosques are being built in America, and you know, if
In
there
every
was a
state.
way to effectively protest and keep them out, we'd do it. We'd do it. But fucking lawfare is a bitch. We're not being allowed to have our free speech, which I don't understand how that exactly works. But I'm pretty certain that most of us don't want to have fucking prayer call outside our kitchen window every day. Nobody wants to have somebody come over to their house and say you can't cook any of that pork on your grill anymore because it offends us during the month of Ramadan or whatever bullshit excuse they have.
Or walk your dog.
Slap fucking
Don't walk
bacon.
your dog by their mosque either.
I will take a shit by their fucking commune every day in public and accuse my dog of doing it. Oh no, look, Spot did it again. Big old brown streak right in the grass as I shit at a 45-degree angle. Awesome.
Yep. But the thing is that the only way anything's going to happen is by people doing something. That's it.
Well, okay, what do we do then? I'm looking for direction here because voting hasn't worked yet.
Is go to your city council meetings, get a printout, get online or whatever, and find out when your city council meetings are, and go to a few of them, or get a group of people. Let's say you have 6 friends, and each of you take one city council meeting, and each of you go, and then you contact the rest and say, "This is what was brought up." Blah 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 blah. And sooner or later, someone's going to come up and say, "Hey, we want to build a mosque. We got $16 million, and we're going to buy this land." And then you have got to fight your city or your county or wherever you live to keep them from wanting that $16 million. See, that's the hard part, because guess what? They got this. You won't. So the only way you're going to be able to do is get enough signatures to be able to get that on the ballot to where they cannot do that. They can't build something.
It's one of the reasons why I moved to a small town.
So I'm saying
One of the main reasons I moved to a small town, Janet, because
me too.
I know the people here, and I know what they don't want, and they don't want to have no prayer call here. As much as they're trying to expand out from the city center, it's not going to happen. Not here, at least. If it does, we're going to be like, no, we're going to stop this. Why are all these dead pigs showing up? I don't know.
That's the only way. You have to do it through the laws, because we are a country of laws rather than of men. We don't have the Wild West anymore, where you just ride up on your horse and
we're going to have to go back to the Wild West. That's what Antifa does.
We have laws that we have to follow, and as long as we stay up on that stuff, then you can make a difference. Just like a few people were complaining in the state about a bunch of Chinese companies coming in and buying up farmland. Well, we were lucky enough to have a governor that said that ain't happening. So she got the people that she needed. They wrote up the stuff and they kicked their ass out and signed off the paperwork saying you can't buy property in this state. So you have to have enough people that actually give a shit about your state. And right now, I hate to say it, but you got a governor that's willing to take the money and not worry about what happens after he's out of office. And that's sad. But we do have people. I'm lucky enough to have lived in 2 states, in Louisiana and Arkansas, where we had decent governors, mayors, and there's liberals there. I'm not saying there aren't, but we had enough people in the right positions, like Kennedy as a senator, people like that said, hell no, that shit ain't going to happen here. And, but you have to write them, you know what I mean? You have to go to meetings. You have to see what people are trying to push, what's on the agenda for your school or your high school or whatever else. Just like what we saw with the books, with the parents, they finally pushed it to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said they have to notify the parents if they're going to have a school, a class, or a book being read or put out about 2 mommies or 2 daddies, any of that stuff. The parents should know that that book's going to be read. And if no kids come, the teacher could sit there and read it by herself. But the parents should have the right to know what's being taught to their kids. And I'm glad that the Supreme Court ruled. 3 of them didn't. I'm sure one of them was a woman that doesn't even know what a woman is, that voted against that. But oh well, that's what we have. And I'm proud of them for doing that. But there's tons of things like that waiting to go to the Supreme Court. But it starts in a small town because you're fed up and you don't want this thing to happen in your town, and you have to fight for it, and you have to push out to the whole state, and then the state ends up going to the Supreme Court. That's how it works. That's how our government is set up. And we have to learn a little more, teach our kids that, so that they can fight when you're not around anymore. Because if we don't, I mean, why do you think they wanted to take the stop teaching cursive? Because if you got kids that can't write cursive and can't read it, they can't even read the Constitution, the original document. So how are they going to defend the Constitution when they can't even read it? So they know what they're doing. Believe me, the people that want to be able to sell all of our land and do whatever the hell they want with it, take your land from you, take your mineral rights, your water rights, whatever they want from your property and make it worthless, they're going to do it because they understand the law and they'll use it against you. So if you don't learn, you're going to be like these young men that signed up to defend their country, and then they were used in an experiment, and it's sad. But I do believe in stopping this kind of stuff from happening by staying informed and by talking about it so it doesn't happen again. That's why they hate history books. That's why they burn books, because if you don't know your history, then it's going to happen again. Same thing is going to go back around. Look at how many years ago was it that 2001 or whatever it was when we had the city of New York attacked, right? And now they have a Muslim mayor. So it does go back around, especially when people don't know anything about their history. It's scary and sad, but it's a fact. And it's happening right now. If all you have to do is walk up and down your streets in the big cities, not in the rural areas like where I live, but in the cities in every single state are pretty much liberal. They work their way into all forms of government in every city. So, that's on us because we were too busy. We didn't pay attention and those people got in. So the only way to do it is to get them out. Just like what you said, no one should be able to be in office more than 8 years, put term limits out. But when they're making their own laws and voting their own raises and whatever else, it's kind of out of our hands. So, all I can tell you to do is to learn as much as you can and step in and try to make a difference when you can in the area that you are, and share the information you just learned, like you said, about why you moved to that town. You moved there because other people said, this is what we're doing, and we're going to try to keep this out. Okay, so you felt safety in numbers, which means you moved there because you felt the other people felt the same way as you, which means they're going to work with you to fight and keep it that way. And that's what we need. We need more people.
Well, here's the real problem I have with sacred cows.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2003 to 2000, let's say 15,
mm-hmm.
all of our friends that were active duty were told one major thing, and they were said to them, if we fight them over here, then we can get rid of the threat and we don't have to worry about them over in our own homeland.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're everywhere. They're every fucking where I turn around, I see these miserable fucking walking hefty bags everywhere in the goddamn city.
Mm-hmm.
And then they walk slow across the street and you're just laying on the horn and hey, if the brakes don't work, the brakes don't work. I'm sorry for your loss. Fuck you. And that's it. That's all I can say, because I'm trying to do the speed limit or 5 miles under, but if they want to act a fool, I mean, it's suicide by pedestrian.
But see, that's why you have laws. You have crosswalks, you have lights that turn red and green. All these different things are set up so that people aren't in the streets when the cars.
They had a red stick figure. They weren't supposed to be in the street. Well, they don't know the laws. Well, then maybe send them away to where they are familiar with their laws, and maybe that would fix the situation. But heaven forbid we have common sense.
Yep. But see, that's what I'm saying. And I always say this too, is that they put in a $13 million mosque, and it's on so many acres, 15 acres, 25 acres or whatever they're taking up, but yet they still are in town and they're praying in the street with their stuff going. Why? When they have a mosque right over there. Stuff like that. I don't understand. And that's up to the people to say, like in Dearborn, Michigan, why aren't they praying in their mosque? Why do they have to pray in the road? They're disrupting my job, my business, whatever, but it's okay to infringe on your rights, but not theirs. See, that's what's wrong, because you're not fighting for your rights. You're laying down. You might as well lay down and be the prayer rug for them, because that's what they're doing to you already. So, I mean, I don't know.
I'm okay with let's go back to Wild West. Let's dial it back, because I can guarantee you
it might end up doing that. We might end up doing that. Because if people don't do something and follow the law and try to make changes that way, that's the only other way that it can end. So that's why I'm trying to say you have to be able to go to city council meetings and know what's going on in your state to be able to be effective in your state or in your community. If you don't know what's going on in your community or your state, then I guess basically you're screwed, because you're not taking the time out to find out what is happening around you, because there's probably already stuff going on that's halfway in that you don't even know anything about, simply because the last 20 years or whatever you haven't been involved, and this stuff started 10 years ago. You don't even know about it. But I wanted to share this with everybody. I like this guy. I think he's great. And I want to share what he has to say here about a few things. But we are having some criminal charges finally being referred on some of the things that you've seen, all these meetings and hearings and blah, blah, blah. But we're finally starting to see criminal charges being put in to against some of these people that we finally are saying, hey, why are they getting away with it? Well, I'm going to play this for you so we can listen. Here we go.
All right. You all want accountability, and we're tired of waiting for it, right? Just a few minutes ago, the Federal Housing Finance Administration made 2 criminal referrals against Letitia James, not for mortgage fraud.
What?
No, they tried that, and I got thrown out in D.C. But for insurance fraud, one in the Chicago area, one in Florida. I think the one in Florida probably sticks. What do you guys think? Yeah,
Letitia
exactly.
James referred for insurance fraud in Florida. Now, John, if I understand is correct, does that mean the case would go up in Florida and Illinois, because that's where the fraud took place? Is that state level or federal level?
Federal. These
That's
are federal criminal
okay.
referrals for filing a false statement on a homeowner's insurance policy, saying that her home is going to be a vacation home, and in fact, she was using it full time for family. The U.S. Attorney in Miami, U.S. Attorney in Chicago will be the deciders. I think the most likely place where a case will be brought would probably be consolidated, brought into Florida. But this just happened a few minutes ago. Go check it out on justinnews.com. We'll have more of it on the top of the show in a few minutes.
What do you say, folks? Are you ready for some accountability for Letitia James?
Okay, so that's just one person. But the thing is, it's got to start somewhere. So we got Florida. We've got Texas, we've got, there's a couple of Ohio, there's a couple other states, and Michigan, and in Minnesota, and California now, where a lot of these things are being opened up. We're seeing criminal referrals finally coming out. So it's a pain in the ass process, but once we can get them for something, because look what happened. People kept saying P. Diddy will never this will never happen. But guess what? We didn't get him for everything, but guess what? He's in prison. Okay. Who would have ever believed that? If you told me that 10 years ago, everyone would have said, hell, that will never happen. So we have to have some faith that and believe in something. And that's what I try to believe in. I do believe that there's good people still. I do believe there's good people in government. I still believe there's good judges. I still believe that there's good people in every state. I still believe that because I talk to lots of them. we are making a difference. It's just that it's slower because we're doing it the legal way, and nobody wants to talk about it. You know, the liberals aren't going to talk about it. They just go hide in their closet, and they don't want to report about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to share it with anyone. So it doesn't get out to the mainstream. So to see little things like this actually be reported on is good. That, to me, that is a win. It may be a little one, but it's still a win. It's a notch in the belt. And every single time that happens, it's a good thing. And it's nice to start seeing a few good things happening. And is there something down here that I see something? Do you want me to bring that up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Remember when I showed you guys that the Middle Easterners can't fight with a fuck?
Okay, well, I'm bringing it up for you. Here you go.
They can't fight with a fuck, okay? This is us trying to show them how to do coordinated activities. They cannot fight with a shit. They will go full auto, go burn through bullets, burn through a pallet of bullets, not hit a fucking thing. They're worthless. You want to call them?
Who are these people?
These are Afghans trying to do jumping jacks. This is our military trying to help them become police forces operators. And whenever the ISIS people came in, they just rolled over and let them on in, go to the airport. And this is why I have zero value for the Afghan National Forces.
Well, it's really sad that when you go into a country like that from the day they were born, their grandparents or whatever said, kill the infidel, and gives them a gun and, you know, or a knife or whatever, and teaches them how to, do, whatever it is that they do. But instead of training them to be a group of people, it's just the one or two people that are trained how to load a gun and shoot it. I mean, I don't know how many videos I've seen where they've shot other people because they just take their gun and randomly, or they don't have any skills because they're not taught anything for safety, because that's just how they're raised. And that happens in the United States too, because I've seen videos of young people from gangs playing with guns and shoot other people or shoot themselves. And it's sad because instead of worrying about whether or not they're going to hurt another person, they're just wanting to get a good picture or whatever. I don't know. It's really sad, but it does happen all over the United States.
It's really sad, but I like Darwin. I like the idea of the dumb are flushed out of society. And I really value that.
I know you do that, but the sad thing is, Bruce, is innocent people die along with these retarded people.
No matter what, innocent people will always die. People that don't need to die, but they're at the wrong spot at the wrong time. You get hit by a meteorite, they get hit by a tree, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to have that. It will. Death does not take a day off. Thank God he got replaced by Chuck Norris.
Well, here's another really good thing that happened that you probably didn't even know about, but I'm going to share it anyways. If I can make sure I bring up the right one. Just give me 1 second. Oh.
And if anybody in chat has a child that knows their way around YouTube and the interwebs, apply at janet@anotherplanet.com, janetfromanotherplanet.com, and go for that producer availability.
I wish I could.
We give you Sam's popcorn.
I think it's this one, but let me see. Let it open up. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to push pause. Okay. I don't know if any of you guys know, but President Trump said he was going to do this, and he did it. This is something else that he finally got worked out, and it was an American Dennis Coyle, I think that's how you pronounce his name. It was snatched by the Taliban last year, just touched down safely in the United States. He was, they were able to get him back. And this is a video of him getting to be with his family again.
Returning to the U.S. after being arrested by the Taliban over a year ago, Dennis was working as a language researcher in Afghanistan when he was taken into custody back in 2025. It's important to know he was never actually charged with a crime. But after pressure from the Trump administration, Dennis was released. He joins over 100 Americans who have been freed from countries like Afghanistan and Venezuela in the last 15 months. No American left behind.
Did you hear that? Over 100 people that have been taken to other countries that were taken because they were doing jobs or whatever it was in other countries. Over 100 people have been released in the last 15 months. But, you know, where's all the stories for all these people? And why weren't they released before that? You know, did Biden even give a shit whether these people were in prison? You see what I mean? This is not talked about. These are good things.
I'm still waiting for what was Biden aware of. Whenever I get that information,
administration. I
I
know
don't care about anything else.
He didn't even know who he was. Honestly, I honestly believe that Trump is doing all this because he wants to please people. He wants the people to get what when he meets them at like a rally or whatever, and they'll say, please see what you can do. Like he's been trying to do something for Tina Peters. There's tons of stuff that's coming out about it, but she's not in jail for a federal crime. The crime that she's in jail for is a state crime, supposedly, her leaking information about elections, right? So Trump can't do anything about that because we do have state constitutions, and a lot of people don't understand that, but a state constitution outrules the federal when it's not a federal crime. Like if a person has got a joint and they're smoking a joint and it's a federal crime, but in the state of Colorado, it's legal to sit around and smoke a joint. The federal government can't come in and arrest you because your constitution in your state protects you. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand how you work around these different laws, but I think Trump's done a phenomenal job about making sure that when he takes in the National Guard or whatever into the state, that he does it through legal means instead of saying, you know, being a dictator king or whatever and just taking the military in and doing whatever the hell he wants. Because a state like Louisiana that has lots of hurricanes, or Florida, and they have something bad happen, they'll say, please, President, we need National Guard to come in and help us with this flooding or the find victims or whatever it is. And he will send troops to that state for that purpose. But they have to be asked first by the governor of the state, because that's the way it is when you have constitutions for each of our states, because each of our states is like a country of its own. So I just feel very blessed that we did have forefathers that we had that tried to set up a wonderful country. And they did a great job, because look how we got a lot of bad stuff going on here, but I still look around the world and there isn't another country that I would want to live in besides the United States, because it has more rights for the people than any other country. And it's not perfect. We have a lot of things that need to be worked on, and we always will, because we're going to always have people with individual personalities, individual needs and wants, and wanting things to be done a certain way. But still, out of all the other countries, we are so lucky. We are so lucky to have the rights that we have, to be able to do this show, to be able to talk about things and not have the Facebook people come to our door and arrest us because we said something about someone that hurt someone's feelings, which they can do in other countries. We've talked about that a few times, how they can come to your door and arrest you because you said this word or you called someone a name, which is a scary thought when you think about it. And I'm thankful that that hasn't happened in this country. And I hope and pray that we can keep fighting and never let that happen to our wonderful country, because we are it. we're the only country in the world that has the freedoms that we have. We're the only one. And that's only because people came together at the very beginning and decided this is where we're going to stake our claim, and we're going to sit and we're going to fight and bicker, but we're going to come up with a document that's going to protect all of us and give us equal rights and give us this and that, whatever that they threw in. And it worked. And I'm so happy that I live here, and I'm thankful to be an American. I say that a lot, but I really do feel that way. So, it's just the way I feel. But there's a couple other things. Here's something I thought was pretty interesting. Let's see, it's number 21. Let me open this up real quick. Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah, no, that's the wrong one. It's the other 21. That one. Here we go. All right, here we go. It says James Comer drops a bomb on Fox. California voter fraud could be 10 times worse than Minnesota. So this is on Sean Hannity. I thought you guys might want to hear this, because see, stuff's coming out. We just have to put it together and be able to take it to court and win.
You could multiply what we found in Minnesota probably by 10 in California. That's how bad it is. And what we're hoping in this investigation is we have the same success we had in Minnesota, with whistleblowers coming forward, reaching out to me or other oversight committee members to sit down and do transcribed interviews so that we can finally figure out who's responsible for this fraud. What we know in California, just with respect to hospice, of all the government entities, hospice is the one that I don't think there would be anyone out there that wouldn't have full support for hospice at our worst time of need. Hospice alone, $3.5 billion just in Los Angeles County. And what that amounts to, Sean, is the whole hospice budget for the United States last year, 18% of all the billing was in Los Angeles County. And that's not 18% of the population of America. In that one county, and it's a big county, 18% of the entire billing for the United States. It is rampant in California, and Gavin Newsom knew it and hasn't done a thing about it.
Are you going to bring him in?
We would like to bring him in. We're trying to start with some state employees. That's what we did in Minnesota. We proved in Minnesota that Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison knew about the fraud. We know that as we speak, there have been dozens of people in Minnesota already arrested by the Trump Department of Justice for fraud, and they're putting a case together on hundreds more in Minnesota as we speak. So we're seeing accountability there. Now we want to see that in California. So Gavin Newsom better lawyer up.
Well, did you hear that? $3 billion with a B in one county in California just for the hospice. That's not counting all the other little agencies in the federal government. These people hate Trump, and they knew that when Trump first was going to run, when he talked about what things he was going to do, they didn't want him as president. Trump will never be president. Trump will never be president. He'll never be president. Everybody was saying it. And guess what? That was Hollywood and the elite and other people that said no. But guess what? The people said yes, because we wanted to see some things change. And now that all this fraud's coming out, all we hear is all these elite people saying, oh, I can't tell you, I can't do this. Where's all the people bitching and moaning when they closed all these fake daycares? Where's all the parents complaining that they don't have anyone to watch their kids? See, that's one thing that no one's talking about. Nobody's complaining because guess what? There were no kids in there. They were empty. They were just taking the cash. And the same thing with this, $3 billion in one little county, 18% of what was supposed to be spent in the whole United States in one county in California. Who do you think had their fingers in that? I bet there was a bunch of yachts and homes and vacations and airplanes probably all bought with money that was supposed to go to hospice care. So, man, that's pathetic. That's how bad off this is. But I'm thankful for it because guess what? It's coming to light. There's a big spotlight being shown, and it's called the Trump light, because he's just exposing all this shit. And if we don't do anything and follow through with it, then, Trump did it for nothing. But Trump's doing what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to go in and he was going to expose all the corruption. And that's what he's doing. And, it's up to us to push the other people in our states to say, okay, we want to prosecute these people. All these people stole this much money from our state, and we want to prosecute them like they're doing, like you just said. Hundreds of people have been arrested and are going to trial for fraud in Minnesota. And they're going to arrest hundreds more, is what he was saying. And now they want to do the same thing in California. So it is happening. It's just that we don't have media that's talking about it because they're all pissed off because we're taking their cookies and their ice cream and their hookers and all their yachts and their parties and their drugs. We're taking everything from them because they don't have the money to go out and buy it because they don't spend their own money. Remember, they spend your money, not their money. And we're stopping them from being able to do that. And they're pissed off. And they've already tried to kill Trump multiple times because they want him gone. They want him out because this is what he's doing. He's getting the kids back. He's arresting pedophiles and people that are trafficking children and young adults all over the United States. Hundreds and hundreds of them every month. I'm hearing they're rescuing and arresting people, and that's his administration. Okay, and I remember in his first administration that was happening, and then we had a big lull for a couple years, 4 or 5 years, nothing. So they don't care, but I do. It's not. None of these kids are even mine. But the fact that they're helping these kids, and I hope they're getting the care they need when they come back, because all of them are going to need therapy. After going through all the, who knows, horrible, terrible stuff that's been happening to him. Like we just saw with that 9-year-old little girl that her parents sold her to this old geezer to do horrible things that we can even imagine a 9-year-old would ever have to go through. But guess what? It's happening every day over there. I don't want that to happen. And it happens here. It just happens behind closed doors. So people they just pretend like it doesn't exist, but it's happening. It's still happening. Horrible stuff like that. And the only way to stop it is by us fighting for our cities and our states and stopping this stuff and making sure these people are prosecuted. And I'm not talking about 6 months in jail. I'm talking about prison time where they stay in prison for years and years and years. Because when they take the childhood away from them, it should be a life sentence, from what I can tell, because that child will never be a kid again. Once you've done things like what's going to happen to that 9-year-old girl already has, that 9-year-old kid, it's sickening. And I wish more people would look at it that way. Because just because it isn't your kid doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It's a child. It's disgusting. But Bruce, are you still there? Did I scare you? Okay.
They're like you're pointing out things that, it pisses me off, but then we obsess about it and we spend way too much time. Like Islam's a piece of shit. Next.
Well, this next thing is I want to share because this is a guy that's being interviewed to get information, right? It's about Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And I'm liking this because I'm loving the fact that they're videotaping all of these people, like Hillary Clinton and all the people. It's taken a lot of time, but they have video evidence now of all these people answering questions, like Bill Clinton saying, I never did that, when he's looking and drooling over pictures of him in a hot tub. It's unbelievable how much evidence they're collecting. And when they go back and say, well, he said he didn't do this, but we have all this evidence that says you did it. And just like this guy, listen to what you want to hear is towards the end of it, listen, because you see the captions come up when people are talking and what they're saying. And his lawyer, it's what his lawyer says to his client, because he's spilling the beans of answering the questions that they're asking him about. It's Les Waxner, okay? And he's openly admitted that Jeffrey Epstein was employed by the Rothschild family. So they're getting all this information and it's coming out and it's on videotape. So I want you to see how his lawyer reacts to him, and he realizes, oh, I messed up. But they should be messed up. But that's what's good about doing it the way they're doing it, because years ago it was just transcribed by some woman sitting there, right, typing it in a machine to put the transcript out, and that's all they had. They might have had camera, but it wasn't live like this is, and that's why I think all of it should be live. I think people should be able to watch it just like we used to on Court TV, because I think the people that have been asking for this stuff should get to watch it if they want, or be able to go to a channel somewhere and watch the recorded stuff like that they're doing and put it all together yourself. You know, be citizen journalists and be able to see all this stuff. That's why I think this is important, because these people are making huge mistakes because, you know, sooner or later, the truth always comes out. It's just nice to see it. So I'm going to share this with you because I want you to see how this lawyer basically is having a conniption over this guy and what he's saying, and telling him basically to shut the hell up. Just like what the lawyer did when she snatched the stuff from Bill Clinton. It made him look like a total disgusting freak, you know, by the way he was reacting to the pictures and stuff. So
he was enjoying looking at those photos. I remember her. She was so much fun. Hey, give me that photo back.
Yeah, and that's basically exactly what he was doing. It was disgusting. But guess what? It's on camera now. You can't take that away. And it was live, it's recorded, and they have the documents, the paperwork, and the transcripts, and the video, just like these ones the cops wear. Thank God for that, because that has helped so many crimes. So many people that deserve to be in jail are in jail because of the cop had that on his chest. And it's also caught some crooked cops. So it's working both ways. But the video evidence is hard to deny. But here we go. I want you to watch this guy and listen to it and read it. Read what the captions say and pay attention. This is really, really good.
In personal work for the Rothschild family in France. Well, specifically, I talked to Elie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole family. So there have been a whole bunch of people. I mean, most of them I never would have met, but I knew Elie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos. Answer the question. Okay. Done personal.
But did you see what he said?
The Rothschild family.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to fast forward up there real quick. When he whispers in his ear, he says, I will fucking kill you. Answer another question. Then he says, hold on. I'm trying to go really slow so not to mess it up. But look at his face. He's like going, oh, I'm getting in trouble. With more than 5 words, okay? He's tired of him spilling the beans because he knows there's nothing he can do. You can't, once it's out and it's on video like this, it's kind of hard for him the lawyer to say, oh, he never said that. You misinterpreted what he said. See that kind of shit? I just loving it. I've been trying to watch as many of these interviews as I can for the, you know, because of the Clintons, and there's a bunch more people lined up. And this is somebody that if his name was on the list, most people would say, I don't know who that is. It's no big deal. But it is a big deal because look who he worked for. And he just spilled the name, Bezos's name. And the Google, you know, so Google's now involved in the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And so is Bezos. So every single time one of these people slip up and do this, this is helping the cause. I know it's a pain in the ass and it's taken a long time, but guess what? All these years, nobody else did shit. It was until Trump got to be president that some of this stuff started coming out. And now look what's going on. We're finally getting something, but it's a start. Okay. So you can't snap your fingers and pull it out your ass and say, look, we got all the stuff we need. It doesn't work that way. Wish it did. I wish it was that fast, but you can't just take a laxative and shit out all the proof you need. You have to do interviews. You have to do exactly what you're seeing being done. And it's being done properly, and it's being, all the I's are being dotted and all the T's are being crossed. And that's what you have to present evidence in court to win and put people in jail. But names are falling out like flies. And man, I don't hear all these people they're just like zip lip walking around. They don't want to be involved in any of it. You don't hear shit coming out of Hollywood. Most of Hollywood is zipped up because their names are being flaunted out like crazy through all these interviews. And most people aren't even noticing it because they're not talking. But this is how you get proof right here. And this is one of them. And this gentleman, if he doesn't die, well, even if he dies now, since they've got this interview and it's on tape, they can use this tape in court, and it will stand up in court. And any documents or paperwork that this guy and his lawyer provided, all can be used, because it's not hearsay, because it's him saying it. And I love it. I think this is awesome. I hope they do everything with that, with the camera, and get it all videotaped like this, these transcribed things. And it's going to be explosive. I mean, just like what they said, it's going to bring down countries. Remember when they were saying that about, if you see everything that's in the Epstein files, I think it was Kash Patel or one of them that said that, it can bring down countries. Well, now you got Bezos' name, and you got Google, and you got who knows how many other names are going to be dropped. I'm telling you, this is going to get juicier and juicier as each day goes by. And we just have to wait. We just have to be patient and just start stacking up all the proof and just waiting for the day when all this goes to court, and be ready, because each one at a time, all these people are going to be brought in. Do what?
You lost me when you said we have to wait. No, I need the fucking. Okay. There's problems going on right now, and you're saying I have to wait to have things resolved. I have to wait in order to have bad people have the consequences of their actions come back and bite them in the ass.
If somebody goes off half-cocked and takes a gun and blows up a building or shoots someone, that person goes to jail, and the other people get off. They get away with it. Because that's all going to be pushed aside to try the person that went off half-cocked to do something because they got pissed off and didn't want to wait to do it the right way. Because if the person's in jail, what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer when he went to prison?
I mean, you can make your own assumption on that.
Okay, what I'm saying is, a lot of people, when they finally get behind bars, they start getting what they deserve, right? Because there's people in there that know what they're doing. That's why they're in there. Okay. So the thing is, we got to get them there. And the only way to get them there is by doing this one. But I'm sorry it took so long. But guess what? President Trump wasn't president before. You know, we had Clinton, we had Biden, we had Obama, and we had the Bushes. Okay, all that, you know, since I've been alive. Okay, we've had all those people, and none of those people gave a shit, did anything. That's why we waited so long. They talked about it, we heard about it, we knew certain people were involved, but nothing happened. You see what I mean? Now we have something happening, and we have to do that. We have to wait as they gather the evidence to be able to prosecute and take it to court. I mean, how long did the victims wait for P. Diddy, you know, and all these other people that we've seen, like what happened with O.J. Simpson? Okay, 2 people were murdered, slashed to death, which I still believe that he was involved in their murders, okay, with the drops of blood leading away from the crime scene, his cut on his hand, the blood on his gloves, the blood on his, I mean, there was so much evidence, but yet he got acquitted for it. So what I'm saying is, if you don't have enough stuff and you have enough people to prove their case, these people are going to walk. I don't want to see any one of these people walk, even if they're just put in jail for tax evasion or whatever we can get them on, but they have to spend 10, 15, 20 years in jail. That's something. That's more than what anyone thinks is going to happen anyways. So why not take what we can get when we have it pretty much being laid out for us? Take it. I'm willing to do that. I'll be satisfied with that, because so many people think, oh, it's never going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Well, some stuff's happening. It's just that nobody wants to believe it. See, but the names are being dropped. Pictures are coming out. Who would have believed that you'd see Bill and Hillary Clinton sitting up there denying it when they had all the stack of stuff they've been handing them? So, yeah, you weren't there. Well, why is your picture in a hot tub in this house or in this or that, blah, blah, blah. They got tons of proof to prove they did it, that they were involved. So, we just have to be patient, and I'm patient. I can wait.
I can be patient to a point. A lot of things that you want to talk about, I've already lost my patience on, because it's been years and nothing happened.
Yeah, but nobody was prosecuting it. Okay, you waited all through Biden administration, all through Obama's 2 administrations, and Bush's and the Clintons. And when did I hear you say anything about any of that during those administrations? Did you say anything about wanting Epstein's people?
You've been friends since what, 2021?
Mm-hmm.
I never knew you before 2021.
No, I know, but did you talk about it before then? Before you met me?
The thing is,
what I'm saying is, most people didn't even talk about it or care about it 20 years ago when it was happening. When this stuff was actually happening, like the whole thing in Mena, when drugs were being flown out from Colombia and brought into Arkansas and all that shit. Okay, all that stuff was going on, and people were looking the other way. Oh, I'm not going to get involved. So that's why nothing happens.
Okay, so I put up a link in your chat from Fox News.
Yeah.
And it's about an Arkansas father. He's facing second-degree murder charges for allegedly gunning down his teenage daughter's suspected sex predator. He won the Republican nomination on Tuesday for Illinois.
Yeah,
County
he's a sheriff.
Yep.
Yeah, I had it on the show. Remember, was it 2 weeks ago? We talked about it on the Friday night.
And here's this is one of those situations where I'm pretty happy shit like that happens.
But
and I support things like that.
Mm-hmm. So do I. And a lot of people in Arkansas support that kind of thing. What happened to that guy? Remember the video you were showing? And the guy walks by and he gets shot because the father shot him in the head. Remember that?
You're talking about Father of the Year.
What happened to the father? What happened to the dad that did that?
Not a damn thing. The jury
see,
said
it does happen. It happens a lot, but we have to follow the letter of the law, and it worked.
No, the jury said he simply did community service.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying it does happen, and good things do happen because there's many people like me that's willing to sit on that jury and make sure the right outcome comes out. But guess what? I wasn't happy with the outcome for Casey Anthony's case. I wasn't happy with the outcome of O.J. Simpson's case. There's lots of trials like that I wasn't very happy with because I felt like the jury was too afraid to commit, or some other thing happened or something to cause somebody to hold out for money or whatever. I don't know. But I can tell you right now, no one would be able to pay me off. Because if somebody came to me and said, we have your daughter, we're going to kill her if you don't vote the way we say, I'm still going to do what I would do anyways, because they've probably already killed her. See what I mean? I have no evidence that she's still alive, and they're going to kill her anyways because she's a witness. See what I mean? So I use my common sense and realize that that's out of my hands. But I would still, then if that did happen and someone took my kid and threatened me, then more than likely the person's guilty as hell, and I'm going to make sure they fry. Because that's my only way of getting revenge.
If you think it could be serious.
For those of you that don't know what Janet was referring to, on March 17th, 1984, Jeff Dosset was being escorted through the airport back at his home state of California, or of Florida, after his arrest because he had kidnapped a young Jody Plauché from the Plauché family. Dosset was a karate instructor, and Gary Plauché had worked with the news crew, and he bowled with them still. So he made a phone call and wanted to know when they were going to be bringing this guy back through the airport. He had an idea. So he would hang out by the phones, and whenever this jackass would be escorted by, he would pivot and under his arm blow a hole through him with a revolver. And that's literally what happened. One of the greatest moments in TV history. March 17th, 1984. We just had the 42nd anniversary of that date last week. And I want to thank Mr. Gary Plauché for doing a man's job in a world that refused to do a man's job, instead wanted to do the enlightened thing of let's talk about it in front of a judge, and maybe we can absolve this man of his sins for what he did, sexually molesting a young boy for over a year. Seeing Dosset get his head blown clear off is one of the great joys one can experience in this world. And I support all child molesters to get parts of their brain removed by high velocity pew-pew seeds. I love it.
Isn't Texas the state where some father went out to the barn and he caught an illegal or whatever attacking his daughter, and he beat him to death with his bare hands?
And then the jury found him not guilty of murder.
Yeah, I know, but it is Texas, right?
Yeah.
That happened. Okay, see, it happens a lot, okay, because in rural areas or states that have a lot of rural areas like Arkansas and stuff like that happens, there's still people like you and I that believe in justice. Okay.
Oh, no, there's people like that everywhere. It's just if we don't have a voice in big cities.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It has to be in an area where there's enough of us that can get together on a jury and make sure that that kind of stuff happens. Because in the city, it's harder for your voice to be heard. And that's why the people are afraid to speak out because of who they're surrounded by in a big city. But here's one more thing. I think this is one of the last things I have. I wanted to share this as close to the end because it's ridiculous. But this is one of the reasons why everything takes so long to get done in Washington, D.C. And it's not because all of them are in on it. It's because most of them are in on it. I'll put it that way. And I love Kennedy. Okay, he's a good person. I still trust him. And there's others just like him that are decent, that are trying to do the right thing and get things done. But this kind of stuff, thank God for cameras and video, because it's on a camera, it's recorded, and now we can use this over and over again to prove the point about why we're in the situation that we are, because we have dumb asses like what you're going to see in this video. Now listen to what he has to say. And he's trying to explain it if you just listen. But this is the kind of shit this guy is actually earning his check when he goes because of what he's having to deal with. It's mind-boggling. But here we go. When it comes to parliamentary procedure, I don't know if very many people know what that is, but if you did certain things in school, or you were in the FFA or any of these other organizations like the Junior Chamber of Commerce and stuff, you do learn about some of these things, but so many people don't. So maybe you'll have to look it up after we watch it. But here we go.
Well, wait, just one second. I mean, is he
quick question?
is he ill? What should I do, Mr. President? Should I give him more time or?
Mr. President, point of order. Is it appropriate for someone not to be recognized to just say, I object and run out? The senator's not been recognized. The senator had the floor, the senator from Louisiana, who's made a proposal. And then I heard some noise in the background and that was it. But I never heard a senator being recognized. So it sounds to me that no one has been recognized to object.
What, could we get a ruling, Mr. President? I don't want to be unfair to anybody. My Democratic colleagues, I told them ahead of time.
An objection was raised and an objection was heard.
So should we give Senator Schatz more time to come back or? Should we give him more time to come back and explain? Wait, I see the parliamentarian giving us some guidance. Tony, trust me, I know what I'm doing.
The chair cannot answer that.
Okay. May I inquire why not, sir?
Not opine on why a senator is in the chamber or not in the chamber.
Can you opine on why my colleague objected and then immediately left and whether he's coming back?
Not an appropriate parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. President, my parliamentary inquiry is a bit different than that. I never heard a senator recognized from the chair by the president of the Senate. The president of the Senate, you had the senator from Louisiana had the floor. The presiding officer said, is there objection? At which time, routinely, someone seeks recognition on the floor.
And the objection was heard. The senator does not need the floor to object.
So I just want to be sure, Mr. President, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I see our parliamentarians here and they can give you able advice. Does that mean I can object to anything at any time without being recognized?
That's correct.
I don't even have to get the floor.
The senator does not need the floor to object
So
to
I can
unanimous
walk
consent.
in the middle of a debate without the floor, right back here in front of God and country and say, I object, and it shuts things down? I don't understand that.
If there is a unanimous consent request pending, any senator in the chamber can object, including the chair.
Without having the floor.
That's correct.
And again, with respect, Mr. President, is your ruling that Senator Schatz, who is my friend, I talked to him before I was coming down, he did not have the floor, but he can still object?
The objection was raised and the objection was heard.
But did he have the floor?
The objection was properly lodged. The objection was heard.
Yes, sir. Not to put too fine a point on it, but did he have the floor? Because
The senator did not need the floor. He raised an objection and the objection was heard and sustained.
Senator Moreno, did you want to say something? I saw you raising your hand.
Okay, so there you go. That kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what someone like Senator Kennedy goes through with the monotonous, whatever we want to do, we're going to do it, Democrats. I mean, how did they get anything done when you got that with your senators? But now it's on record that Kennedy can just walk in the middle when two Democrats are debating something and just say, I object, and then leave the room and stop it. So they can't do anything else because he just said that you're allowed to do that. See, the president of the Senate. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. It's totally stupid. And that is not proper procedure. That you're not recognized and you can just say whatever you want and then leave and stop everything from going on. It's utter chaos. That is one reason why nothing gets done, because they don't follow parliamentary procedure. They just do whatever the hell they want. And they have a president that lets them. So it's like having bunch of toddlers in a room, and none of them want to share their toys, so they just grab toys and run out of the room with them. Nothing gets built, nothing gets played with, and nothing gets done. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they do any of it. Do what?
They're just fucking useless. That's all it is.
I know, but that's what I wanted you to see.
John Thune.
What Kennedy just went through, just to make a point, to try to show how ridiculous they were. They don't have to have the floor. They can just shout from the back and whatever, and then leave and stop everything. And he basically got him to say yes. So now Kennedy, I guarantee he's going to do something like that. He's going to do it and say, hey, you just said this the other day. Bring that video up, and then have him bring it and play it. So he'll say, see, it's stopped now. You can't do it. You can't discuss it. You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of person he is. That's what he does. But it's just pathetic. That is why we are in the mess that we are in, because we have those kind of people running everything and getting away with it. So, and they just voted another senator from Florida, a Democrat, to join that disgusting display that we just saw. So hope you guys are ready. I'm telling you, put your seatbelts on, because things are going to start getting really bumpy in the next couple months. It's going to be really bad. But that's it. That's all I had. All the stuff I had brought up for tonight to talk about. Is there anything you would like to bring up besides what we've already talked about?
Yeah. There's a video that was released on YouTube about 3 days ago. Now, I've known about this video for the past week. It was released on Friday on Pepperbox. And if you remember, there was a episode where Rich High talked about the problems with Buffalo public school districts.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that a while back.
So I'm going to put a link in the chat for a almost 90-minute video. If you want to watch it, watch it. The ads that are on it for YouTube are pretty good. I'm not a big fan of YouTube. No surprise there, right? But the ads they got for this, there's no exterior ads that I saw, but the guys do their own ads they have. And
are you going to share it in the chat?
I am, once I get to your chat, because the way that YouTube has fucked me out of conventional being able to just get into your program. I have to go around.
I wanted to read something, because Hardwick sent me an email. He sent me an email, and he said that I think he said he wanted me to read it. So let me open the comments again. It says,
Janet, can you just add the YouTube link I put in the private chat to the people that are in your chats, please?
Yes, I will do that for you. But he said this. He said, check the email I sent you. It's a C.S. Lewis quote that's kind of counterpoint to something you said earlier, and I'm curious about what you think of it. So I'm going to read it real quick, and then I'm going to give him a response. As soon as I share this, is it the first one or the second one? There's two in here.
For what? The private chat?
Yes.
The second one I just added.
Okay, I'm going to put it in there. I'm posting it right now.
First, there's a link for the unsubscribed podcast from YouTube.
I just put it in the chat.
Just put it in the chat. Just copy and paste in chat.
I did. It's in there. Okay, I want to read this real quick. That he sent me. It says, the following is a quote from C.S. Lewis in a letter to Bede Griffiths, dated 20 December 1946. It's one of the evils of rapid diffusion of news that the sorrows of all the world come to us every morning. I guess he's talking about the morning news. It used to be on TV. I think the village was meant to feel pity for its own sick and poor, whom it can help, and I doubt if it's the duty of any private person to fix his mind on ills which he cannot help. This may even become an escape from the works of charity we really can do to those we know, like, helping people in your church, in your own, group that go to your church or your Sunday school. A great many people, not you, do now seem to think that the mere state of being worried is in itself mysterious. I don't think it is. We must, if so it happens, give our lives for others. But even while we're doing it, I think we're meant to enjoy our Lord, and in him our friends and our food, our sleep, our jokes, and the bird's song and the frosty sunrise. About the distant, so about the future. It is very dark, but there's usually light enough for the next step or so. Pray for me always. That's what he'd written in there. I do believe in that. Most of us don't worry about what goes on down the street. You worry about your mom, your dad, your cousins, people that you interact with, in your own family. And when one of them is sick or whatever, people would make some meals or whatever and take it over there because they just had surgery or whatever else, and help each other. Just like I've mentioned a few times, like when you're in an Indian tribe, the tribe people take care of their own. They don't go outside their tribe to other tribes and try to help people. That's usually when you barter for food or meat, furs, horses, things like that. It's the same thing with us. So they don't usually worry about what's going on in other things like that. But since we have TV now, and I guess it was radio back years ago, where you hear things that are going on in certain places around the world, or even in your state or in your country, people would worry about, is that going to come here? Like illnesses, forest fires, earthquakes, floods, things like that, because it does sometimes spread from one place to another. So I can see how more people would get more worried about things. But normally I don't worry about it. When I'm at home and I'm cooking or cleaning and doing things, I'm not dwelling on the things that are going on. But in the back of my mind, when I'm getting ready to do a show or something like that, I try to bring up stuff that I feel other people have never heard about it. Like I said, I have 4 sisters and we talk almost daily. At least I talk to 1 or 2 of my sisters almost every single day. So we're in contact all the time because we are sisters and we grew up together. But it's funny to me how they can come and go to the grocery store, do their chores, go to their job or whatever, all these things, and not know over half the things that I find out from 2 different YouTube and X. And they watch TV, they watch news shows, they watch TV series, they do all these things, but yet they still don't know about a lot of this stuff. And to me, I'm surprised that they aren't more informed about what's going on in our country, especially when there's so much diversity with what's going on with our president and the shutdown, basically. And they act like they don't, they don't care. They could care less. It doesn't affect their life at all. They're still going to buy gas. They're still going to go to work. And that's what they say. I'm still going to go to church. I'm still going to do this, that, and the other. So all that stuff has nothing to do with me. But it does. Because if you stay informed, you're going to make better decisions for your future and for your state and for your communities and for your other people in your family, by telling them this is going to be on the ballot or that's coming up or they might be bringing this in or whatever. You're getting them informed to where when it does come out in the newspaper or on a commercial on TV of the show that they're watching, they're going to say, oh, Janet told me about that. I need to really, start focusing on that because it's going to make a difference in this part of my life or whatever. So I think we should be a little more informed today than we were years ago, because we are on a global network now. If you're on the internet, you're finding out about things that you never would have ever found out about probably, 100 years ago. You probably would never heard about it, like an earthquake in Russia and stuff that happened, or little things like that. We probably wouldn't even never known. But today we hear about all these things. Like there was a huge avalanche, I remember, that covered a whole ski lodge. I think it was in Switzerland or somewhere, and people were talking about it, and they're digging people out and all this kind of stuff, because it's interesting. It's interesting, especially when it's happening in another country. Now, I probably wouldn't even notice it, but I do have relatives now that I know of because of marriages between my sisters and things like that. I have relatives in Norway. So if something did happen in Norway, I would like to know about it. I remember when there was that shooting at that one guy went to that school and started shooting up all those kids. And that's very rare because they don't have weapons. Everybody doesn't just run around with guns and stuff like they do here in America. Every family has so many weapons, or there's so many weapons in every state, things like that. So there is differences compared to what was going on in that. But I don't really, maybe I seem that I'm obsessed with it on a daily basis because I'm into politics or whatever, but I'm not. I can play games and go to the movies, do our movie review, and never really even think about, what's going on with the administration or whatever. And we don't even talk about it. It just depends on what the movie's about, what subjects might come up or things like that. But to me, it all boils down to the same thing. Sooner or later, it all comes back to your home and where you live and where your family is, your immediate family that lives in the same home with you, because your surroundings affect you and how you live your life. So you have to know what's going on around you, or you're going to not have gas, or you're not going to have electricity or food, things like that. So I don't know. That's how I look at it, but I don't feel like it's that much of a obsession for me, because I do believe in God. I do pray, and I pray for a lot of these people. I pray for Trump every single day. And I pray for other people whose families are involved in the people that try to, like the one who tried to shoot him in Butler. I pray for his family, because I'm sure that they probably didn't know a lot of the things that was going on with their kid. And a lot of parents don't, because they're so busy working 2 jobs or whatever to pay bills. And it's sad. That's what I'm saying. People need to not worry about so much about, I have to have that exact vehicle, or I have to have this or that, and spend a little more time playing games, watching movies, sitting down at the table and having dinner with their families. Because to me, this kind of stuff, interaction is way more important than making a $5 or $10 more, to bring home. And I wish more people were able to do that, because I think it would help a lot of the problems that we have. Like what people were talking all day today about Tiger Woods, rolling his vehicle and stuff. And I thought it was because he was drinking, but they said, no, he doesn't drink. He does drugs. And I'm like, that's horrible. This is somebody that has millions and millions of dollars, a gorgeous wife and beautiful kids, and he's miserable. You think about it. All these people have all the things that everybody out here says, I wish I had a nice house. I wish I had a pool. I wish I had 5 cars. I wish I had an RV or a plane. I wish I had a yacht. Do you really wish that? Because you probably be just as miserable as those people are. That's why they're doing drugs. That's why they're drinking. That's why they're speeding, why they're drinking and driving, endangering other people on the road. It's sad, because more people need friends and hands-on from their friends, actually sitting and talking to each other. listening to each other and trying to help each other with their problems. You know, like saying it really isn't as bad as you think it is, but let's talk about it. Let's see if we can, work through that or whatever. That type of stuff, I think, is way more important than whether I'm going to be able to make $50 more, today at my job or whatever. I think that is way more important. So hopefully I answered your question. I don't know if I went way overboard or whatever, because I wasn't really for sure exactly what you wanted me to say, but maybe I do seem obsessed over some things, and I scare people thinking that I'm, enveloped in something or whatever, but I don't mean to come across that way, because I don't really feel that I live my whole life worried. I don't not sleep, or my hair is not falling out. I don't know. I don't know what answer you want, but there you go. I tried to answer your email that you sent me. Hope you're happy with my answer. So is there anything you want to add, Bruce?
Not really. I mean, the few things I wanted to add, I already mentioned there. Hopefully all of you tune in tomorrow. If you like Pathfinder and you want to see Janet and her friends win, I encourage you to get disappointed tomorrow when we play, because they probably will be challenged very well, maybe out of their element. Pathfinder, that game is running down to its, we've got about maybe 7 months left of it before that campaign wraps. I'm really happy to say that.
Well, how do you know that? Is it because you already know what the story is?
Yeah, I know the story, and I know how fast you guys really go through stuff. The other campaign I like a lot better. I like the rule set, even though it's pretty biased, because I'm the one kind of editing, writing it, making sure that there's going to be cross T's and I's that I know where they're at. And it's not like Pathfinder, which is written for the gimme it now microwave RPG fan, which I absolutely hate. I like the older systems better, where if you're going to do something, it took you time to do it. Like, I'm going to build a hammer. Well, it'll take you about 3 days to get the wood and the iron all together and fashion it together. Have fun. 3 days? Well, I just want to go buy a hammer at the store then. All right, that'll cost you gold. Gold? I only have silver. Well, what do you want to do? Spend the time or spend the money? And I love games that make you pay in time. So that's going to be the focus of that rule set. I think it works pretty well. And the players seem to be enjoying it as well. Sunday, we're going to be watching a movie called Paint Your Wagon. How long have we been putting this off, Janet?
Well, we just had so many things happen.
How long have we been putting it off?
What? Watching the movie?
Watching the movie Paint Your Wagon, because you could accuse me of not liking musicals, and that's really not true. I love the Blues Brothers. One of the most perfect movies ever made. It's a musical.
Well, I'm just excited because you've never seen this movie. And it's Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin in it.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Marvin, Clint Eastwood, I'll go for it. Be happy to watch it.
Anybody who wants to watch Paint Your Wagon with us, what time do you want to start it? At noon?
About 12:30.
12:30? Sorry, I got a dry spot in my throat. 12:30.
It's all right. I was trying to quit smoking earlier.
Well, I just got a dry throat for some reason, but we're going to try to watch it on Sunday at 12:30 Central Time. And if you want to watch it with us, yeah, come join us. We'd love to have you in there to watch it with us. And Bruce has never seen it. So if you've seen it and you want to see Bruce's reaction or hear what he has to say, come watch a movie with us. It's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. So my mom loved it.
Yeah, and just for those that are new or forgot, I'm in the middle of I'm running my channel on Sundays to where we're watching like 17 weeks of Clint Eastwood. 17 weeks of Clint Eastwood, the actor. Now, he might have directed some of these movies, but he's going to be an actor in these films. And there are a few movies we watched already that he's been in that we're not going to watch again, like Where Eagles Dare. We just finished the third of the Dollars trilogy, which
The Good,
I
Bad,
was
the
expecting. What?
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. For a few dollars more is a really good one. My favorite of those is the first, The Fistful of Dollars. I think that's just a perfect movie for a Western. Now, there are better Westerns out there in hindsight, but I'm talking about movies like Tombstone. And I hate to say that Tombstone beats A Fistful of Dollars because I just love Clint Eastwood's character. I mean, in every movie he's in as the man with no name, which he has a name, I might add, in every one of those, he's not out there as the good guy. Even if he is the good in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, his character in all three films is out to make money. That's it. That's the only reason why he goes to town, is to make money. And I fucking love it. I think it's so good to have a character like that. And then you have other Westerns like Tombstone based on real events. And that's just a badass movie by every metric. Of course, the cast for that movie, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, iconic films, great movies. They're the sweatiest movies you'll ever watch. You'll never have more perspiration on screen than when Clint Eastwood and all of his contemporaries are there squinting into the camera with just beads of sweat rolling down their faces. God, I love Italian cinema. Anyway.
Yeah, they were good. I really enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed all three movies. But the second one is still my favorite. I really enjoyed the second one. I thought it was had everything I wanted in a movie. So I loved it.
It's a good movie. I'm not going to say it's not. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my least favorite because no matter how much I was told I need to like Tuco because he's a misunderstood bad guy, I just never fucking liked Tuco ever, and God damn it, bring the action back to Clint because Clint made it work in A Fistful of Dollars, and I know it wasn't his movie, wasn't his story, but it was my perception that Clint Eastwood was the real rising star in those movies, just as they proved. And we're going to watch a lot more of his movies over the next 4 months.
Yeah, he's a rising star in the one we're going to see on Sunday too.
Singing in the Rain is a great movie that is probably a must watch for every human being. There are certain movies from the 60s that are must watches, and that's definitely one of them.
But if you guys want to watch it, please just let me know. And if you're not in Discord yet, I'll send you a link. Just tell me where to send it. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Discord. So our email is the Friday Night Shit Show. So if you want to, let me put that in I'll put it in the chat. If you want to join us and you're not in any of those things, just send me an email and I'll send you a link to the Discord and you can come and sign up for Discord and join us. Here's the email. I just put it in the chat.
And should a non-AI friendly platform rise to power, we will be getting off Discord and going to that because everywhere, not in my channel, but other channels that were more active seem to have died off rather hard because Discord has got so much AI moderation behind the scenes that it's just constantly fiddling with things and deleting stuff and posts and messages. And
I haven't had any of those problems in my Discord.
Janet, your Discord is focused on one thing. It's not focused on anything else. Your Discord is focused on you. Okay?
Well, it's focused on politics. I got all those different rooms, and some
You've got all those rooms. They tie back to you. Nobody is in there advocating for diversity of thought because nobody wants to give a shit about the liberal mindset.
Yeah. So basically, I got good people in there, and
Yes.
it's a good site. I mean, it's a good
It
room for
is,
us.
but there's larger discords I'm a member of, and I'm not the main opinion or the majority opinion in there. And I've noticed that in those places, the activity level has dropped. And I'm just saying that those people would never say or think anything that I've ever thought or said in the last 5 years.
Oh.
And yet they've all gone kind of dusty. They've gotten rather barren. Don't know why. And everybody keeps people AI here. You have to get used to it.
I've been in a few discords where when I first joined, it was real active because the person running it was very active in putting and doing things. And then over time, I've never seen him in there at all. You know, like I don't know, I can't remember his names, but they just stopped going in there and doing anything. So they just let their Discord just dissolve, basically. So
Luis Guzman would be a good Tuco. I think you're right. Definitely not Benicio del Toro. Janet, do you remember the actor James Tolkien?
I don't know, what movie was he in?
It's been a few. He recently passed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was Mr. Strickland in the Back to the Future movies. He was Stinger in Top Gun. He was Wiggin in War Games.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
What happened?
He was 94.
Oh, he was
94 years old. He was old.
Well, I hope I live to be 90 something. That would be great.
I really don't.
I do.
I don't have a whole lot of pain right now. I'm not doing that great. I'm not doing that bad. I did 30 push-ups earlier today, and I'm thinking if I do that like 3 or 4 times a day, it's going to be impressive. But I'll get a little bit of my old self back. But I've got to say that I'm not a big fan of getting older. This shit's for the birds. I should be dead already.
That's horrible to say.
Ms. Tolkien, we salute you, sir. Thank you for your service.
I don't like to see anyone pass, but you know, as long as I can do things for myself, like I said, my grandmother on my dad's side was 101 when she died, and she was sweeping her kitchen. So if I can be like that, I want to live as long as I can. And you know, as long as I can do things, I don't want to be bedridden.
I'll be doing it.
That's what I mean. That's what I said. That's what I hope for myself. Is that you know, I don't want to be bedridden for 10 years or something like that. I hope and I pray that that doesn't happen, but you know, try to take the best care of myself as I can and try to stay as active as possible. And you know, a body in motion tends to stay in motion. So you know.
I don't know. I'm just pretty happy with the way things are at the moment. I'll get better. I know that much. For anything else, have I heard of Cloak? I've heard of it. I haven't looked into it enough because I've been way too busy.
Is it like a Discord? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it says it's like Discord.
I've never heard of it. It sounds interesting though. Maybe you should start a Cloak and then we can use Discord or Cloak.
I'm looking at it right now.
Good. See, it's great to have good people in the
Well,
chat.
Communities, friend groups, gaming squads, creative teams.
Mhm.
Has servers, voice channels, direct messages, roles, and permissions without requiring an email, phone number, or password. Their identity is a cryptographic key that only you hold, no ads, no data harvesting, no algorithm deciding what you see. You just get space to talk, collaborate, and build communities on your own terms.
Mhm.
Huh. Okay.
So check it out and let me know.
I'm looking at it right now.
No, I know, but I mean, if you go in there and check it, other people's things and stuff.
They're not privacy is a toggle buried in settings menu. Privacy is the foundation that everything else is built on. We're trying to people who refuse to hand over identities to corporations that treat us like data currency. We're the kind of people who believe you be able to talk to your friends, collaborate by your community, express yourself freely without a company profiling your every click, message, and habit, so you back to advertisers. Huh. That's interesting. Let's look at the fact.
Can you do you have it brought up so we can look at it? Not.
So here's the fact. What's Cloak? It's a communication platform built for real-time messaging and privacy at the core. Like Discord, it offers servers, channels, and direct messages, voice chat. Privacy is built in the architecture, not added as a feature.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who wants digital privacy gets it. Community organizers, friend groups, teams, or individuals who are tired of platforms harvesting their data. It's space to communicate without surveillance. Traditional platforms require email, phone number, and track behavior to monetize you. They prove that the great communication tools don't need to compromise privacy. The features does it offer: text and voice, channel categories, direct messaging with individuals and groups, real-time chat reactions and replies, shared images and videos, frame system, customizable profiles and notifications. Nothing requires personal information. Is it free? Okay, using it is and will always be free. If you need more server resources like file storage or anything else, quality of life feature, maybe in the future offered as an optional paid upgrade. The paid features will be clearly communicated in advance. Messaging, servers, direct messages, that shit's free. Is there a mobile app for Cloak? Not yet. It's available through web browsers. Okay. Is there a desktop app? No, it's going through your web browser. Okay. So you get a 64-character cryptographic key. It's your identity, no email, phone number, password required. You will paste your key to log in from any device.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with your secret key? Well, that's your account. By design, we can't recover it for you. This ensures real privacy because no information is stored that can identify you. Save your key in a secure location like a text manager. We're going to find the secret key after sign up. Well, it's displayed once during account creation. It doesn't store your key. It's one-way hash, and only one-way hash is kept. Make sure you save it immediately in a password manager or other secure location. If you lose it, your account cannot be recovered. With my data encrypted.
Mm-hmm.
It's hashed using a lot of technology for being stored. You never see or store your actual key. Everything is transmitted over encrypted HTTPS connections. We're going towards implementing end-to-end encryption for messages, which will have only the intended recipients can read them. We're transparent about exactly what level of encryption is in place. Why do it require email or phone to log in? Email is a universal tracking ID that links activity across the entire internet. Phone numbers are tied to your legal identity and can be used to verify you for advertising purposes. Cryptographic secret keys are used instead, which prove you are
you without telling us anything about who you actually are. And somebody else access my account. Only somebody with your secret key can access the account. You cannot be compelled to give anybody else access because you do not store your key only in one-way hash. They collect the minimal required data to operate the service. Your username and a one-way hash for your secret key, messages and content, optional profile information you choose to add, and server membership records. No emails, phone numbers, real name, location, or biometric data is ever collected. So zero analytics, tracking pixels or behavioral data. Nothing on cloak because there's no business model that depends on knowing who you are. This looks really good. This looks really good.
Well, good. Get in there, in the next week or whatever, and you set it all up and let me come check it out so I can maybe make one.
I'll look at it. I'll look at it tonight. I'm currently busy, Janet.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, because I'll just wait till you have a chance to do it before I'm gonna be able to do it, because I have to. The only reason I was able, to set mine up the way I did is because I went to yours and looked at it and tried to, make it so it's usable. You know what I mean? But oh well, I guess we're done. So I'll tell everybody thank you very much and get everybody ready to go to bed. Get some sleep.
Stuff.
But thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you for everything tonight.
Mhm. It was nice. Because I went to almost 2 weeks without doing anything, on my channel, live at least. So
When I would talk to you on the phone, it sounded like your body was vibrating at 44 megahertz. So
well,
I
it
knew
was
you were
basically driving down the road.
being twitchy.
Yeah. This is nice.
Do
Do you like my friend right here? Like I got him duct taped to my seat.
I would rather if we were gonna have like stuffed animal aliens, I would rather have you have the mantis people or the insect mantis people because those are my favorites.
Well, I already had this one, so
I get it. It's just that the only time I've ever had a dream or an encounter with an alien, I don't know which one it was, because the memories I have of it are fucking weird, and they cut off. So I don't know if I was actually having an alien encounter or if I was just having what.
it's because you were getting probed. That's why you don't remember.
Actually, no, I was not. I was not supine. I was standing. But the fucker was weird because like he had these mandibles and he kept turning off to the side. And I asked him, what are you doing that for? And he says, you don't understand. You have a very particular sense of humor and it's great. However, whenever I laugh, my mandibles, they twitch, everything moves. Humans see that and you think I'm getting hungry, I'm going to eat your face. And therefore, I can't really be facing you and exhibiting my pleasure at your comedy. So I have to turn away. And that's about all I can really remember on it. But like, I was kind of in shock and ready to piss myself because 7 foot tall mantis thing that's like George Lucas bullshit. Super skinny, shouldn't be walking around like that, shouldn't even look like that. But no, where's he at? He's in my apartment. And I didn't know if I was dreaming or if I was just having a real alien encounter and it was getting mind wiped from me at the time. I'm just telling you what I have, what fragments I've got available. If it's true, awesome. I had an encounter with something like that.
If it was false, then my brain has made it to where I can't tell. Janet, you see Skull Spotter in there? Obliterate that fucker.
Okay. Where is it?
It's in Rumble.
Oh. Okay. Right there. Oh, okay.
200 other streamers. Yeah, go suck a dick.
Okay. I see it now.
Nobody gives a fuck about you.
Yeah, I
You have
hardly
nothing
ever
else
get
you want,
over
you
there.
have nothing else you want to talk about at all.
Nope. I'm done.
Okay. Well, then let's show the people the door and enjoy.
It's 1 a.m. So, but thank you everyone for hanging out with us, and it was fun. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And if you want, don't forget you can hang out with us on Sunday and watch a movie. It's gonna be good. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you everybody later. See ya. Good night, Bruce.
You will, everybody. God bless you.
You know where you are with. You know where you are with. Floor collapsing, fall.